A night in with Mauler and the drinker, getting trashed with the web's free thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine, pass me say, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, Mauler and the critical drinker.
Alrighty, I believe that's our cue, Mauler.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Open Bar. We're up to 37 now.
Just keep coming.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something special for 50, I reckon.
We'll go watch a film. We'll tell everybody else to celebrate. We'll be like, damn.
Just passed out in a corner, like, you do the rest of it. I can't be bothered. Anyway, well, here we are. We've got a lovely panel of people lined up for you guys, and I'm sorry that we're a bit later than usual, because we've been doing well recently. We've been starting pretty much bang on time. This is what happens when Gary gets involved. Somehow we always just end up late. And the irony is he came in really early, but just a bunch of stuff got messed up behind the scenes, and I had to dick around with my microphone and stuff. But hey, we're all good to go now. So, should we start bringing people in? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Gary!
Damn!
Oh.
It's my fault. It's all my fault.
Inadvertently your fault, yeah.
Hi. Thanks for having me. It's unfortunate why I'm here. Not that I'm here. I'm glad I'm invited.
That's the spirit.
It's obligation. F this dude. I just want the clicks and the subs. No, I was supposed to go to the Picard premiere. Thanks to the Popcast guys. So cheers. They do my t-shirts too. And they invited me. And I can't go because I'm sick. Sorry, I just come on Open Bar instead.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just like sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that's what we are. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you're like total sloppy seconds for sure.
We'll do our best to keep you entertained.
Thank you.
While you're here.
You too, chat. Okay, please. Sick of what? Well, sick of a lot of things.
Sick in the head.
Just sick. No, thanks for having me, man. This is great. This is a great way to spend the day.
Thanks,
either
man.
this or watch some Velma, and I'd much rather do this.
I thought you were going to say Pornhub, so that would have been a more worthwhile use of your time, I would say.
Honestly, it would have. Better stories, better dialogue, better stories, better character arcs for sure.
Yeah, and weirdly less sexualization, which is interesting. Yeah. Hey, I'm here all night. Anyway, we'll bring in our next guest, shall we? Because we're going to be talking about a bit of video gaming tonight. We needed a video game expert, and who better to bring in than Melanie Mack?
Yay!
Hello
Thank you
again.
for having me. Hi again.
All right, see, I got the applause.
Yay.
Gary's just acting as my studio manager tonight. It's great.
Yeah.
He's ready with the sound effects.
Right.
No, thanks for coming in.
What's up, bigot?
Oh, doing great, bigot. We're all bigots now.
Wait, don't include me in this. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, you haven't played yet?
Yes, I wouldn't.
Not
Are you
because I'm
gonna
taking
play
some.
it?
I haven't played it either, but
I'm not
you're
taking some
bigoted.
moral stance. It's just like I don't give a shit about Harry Potter. That's my problem.
So I was like, you're a good person drinker. You're like, no.
Yeah. Don't tar me with that good person brush.
It's a fun game. It's really fun. It's really fun being a bigot and playing Harry Potter.
and yeah, watching the measured and sensible reactions online. But hey, we'll talk about that.
Totally reasonable, yeah.
Yeah. We should bring in our final guest though, which is Andre, our Norwegian Viking, who's ready to go from Midnight's Edge. Man, great to have you on again.
Thanks for having me. Greetings, everyone. Glad to be here.
Good to have you, man. And yeah, we know that you got some good insights behind the scenes of what's going on at Disney, and so hopefully we'll get to that.
Yeah,
before
it's been
too
a
long.
wild couple of days there, so I look forward to getting into that and everything else.
Yeah, it's always nice seeing them in crisis mode, like just firing people and not knowing what the hell to do. So,
well, it's kind of well earned in a way because they put themselves there, and by they I mean Bob Iger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Well, we will definitely get to that shortly. But yeah, I guess the first thing that was kind of relevant at the moment over the past few days is Hogwarts Legacy, which has come out, and wow, quite a reaction online. Apparently, it's really this like ideological purity test now. If you play it, then you are not one of the inner cult circle anymore. You know, you're not pure enough. And how the hell did it come to this? Why this game? Why is this so important?
I don't know why they picked this for their battle. I really don't. Because like with everything going on with EA, with Blizzard, even with Riot Games, all that kind of stuff, it's kind of like crickets. But then Harry Potter, or Hogwarts Legacy, J.K. Rowling, bad. Don't play her. You're a terrible person if you play this. And it has just gotten to insane levels. Streamers are scared of their own viewers to even play the game. But I think those streamers, they kind of did it to themselves because they catered to the mob, they pandered to the mob, and now they're seeing this game that is just breaking records on Twitch. People love it, and they want to play. Some of them are even admitting like, oh, they want to play, but they don't want to deal with the headache of it with their followers turning on them and stuff. It's like, well, maybe if you didn't burn bridges with the based people and didn't pander to all the crazies, then you wouldn't be in this situation right now. But it's all about control, because it's like they will disown you, cancel you just based off who you follow on social media. And now we're at the point to where you can't even play a game without them coming after you. It's just insanity.
The whole thing's like a little microcosm of like the whole situation with J.K. Rowling in the first place, because she's like our big raging lefty in the first place. It's just like on this one issue she deviates from them, and damn, there is nothing they hate more than one of their own that steps out of line, and that's exactly what she's done. And man, she has just become like the Antichrist for so many of them. And it's in a way, it's like, well, you've cultivated these people, you've attracted them as your audience, you knew what they were, and you knew what they would do to anyone who steps out of line. You know, I don't have that much sympathy for you ultimately.
Yeah, that's true.
No, because they're out there demanding things, and these are individuals who want to be identified a certain way as individuals. Yet they get into this Marxist cultish groupthink that they wanted people to go through struggle sessions. Contrast this with what happened to Gina, who's not as powerful as J.K. Rowling, but these are two symbols of Hollywood. These are the strong, powerful female. J.K. Rowling being the most powerful, being the George Lucas of women, you know, and making this insanely popular thing. And as you said, she disagrees with like not even 1%. It's like 0.1% of all of the things. And now she just not even be canceled. She needs to be ended. So you contrast this with Gina, right? And if Disney had done nothing and not fired Gina, it would have gone away. You now see how cowardly and stupid they were, because Warner Brothers and whoever makes Hogwarts Legacy and Universal, they're not backing down. They're making too much money. I was just at Orlando. I saw that place is packed. The Hagrid ride has like an average of 2 to 3 to 4 hour line for that ride.
Wow.
I went to Ollivander's and it was freaking packed. Like you couldn't even walk in there. You couldn't even walk around in there. And the same goes for LA. And by the way, she still sells a hell of a lot of books. And now she's got the best-selling game. She's swimming in money right now. This is a massive failure. And that's what they're pissed about. They just saw how little power they have and how much we gave them.
To be super clear, it's the way that they outlined the terms of this fight that they've created out of nothing is that the lost conditions for them were the success of the game, so they did it to themselves. Nobody said that was the case until they did. They're like, and have you seen those tweets where they're like, oh my god, the success of this game means that we like that's it, like look how horrible the world is. Like, no, that's just people playing fucking video games. Shut up. Why do you define that as your loss?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you've got obviously the extreme of people who buy it and they've got no intention of even playing it. They just
Yeah.
want it to be a success because it's like a giant fuck you to all these idiots.
Mhm.
I'm
And
kind of
then,
right here. I mean,
yeah, there you go. And then you've just got people in the middle who are like, yeah, I just want to have fun and play a game that I enjoy. Like, what's so bad about that? And it doesn't make me an evil person. And yeah, man, it throws up all kinds of discussions, I suppose, about like how can you separate the art from the artist, and I
Mhm.
guess in J.K. Rowling's case, it seems to be utterly impossible for some people.
Right.
And yeah, it's weird the number of people that you still see even now who are posting up things on social media saying like, "Oh, Harry Potter was my entire life, and you've ruined it now, and I've burned all my books." And I think, well, one, you bought them in the first place, so she don't give a fuck. She's
Yeah.
made her money out of you already. And two, like, damn, imagine basing your whole life around Harry Potter. That's fucking sad as it is. Jesus.
well, it only goes to show that this was the hill that many chose to die on.
Mhm.
Like, because you have like these things which are in the moment, and then they all became ideological purity tests. This is the thing
Yep.
that you have to
Yeah.
believe in. But of course, it changes from time. Like, sometime it is like you have to say ACAB, you have to put that in your profile, you have to have your Twitter pronouns. Oh, now you need the Ukrainian
Yep.
flag. And then right now in this time frame, this month right here, it is this game, because
Yep.
now J.K. Rowling, who is a strong, independent woman, so someone who really should be kind of like on their side of things, but she dares to go against the narrative. And that makes her worse than, that dude during that strife in Germany back in the 40s. He's worse than him right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
she must be destroyed. And this is now the
Yeah.
ideological purity test. Next month is going to be something else. But
Yes,
anyway, so right
exactly.
now, if you're Mark Hamill and you just tweet something wrong, they're going to come for everyone who fails the ideological purity test. And
It's funny
Melanie,
because
as
I've
you,
got no sympathy for Mark Hamill either.
no,
Right.
neither
Again, he
do I.
courted these people for like the
Mhm.
past 5 years.
Oh,
It's like,
absolutely.
well,
That's exactly, and that's the point that you made, Melanie. That these Twitch streamers that decided to go with
Yep.
the exact kind of people that will shoot you for any little thing the
Yes.
moment you are no longer in line. Why the heck would you cater to those people? And
Mhm.
if you do, like, and really, you choose to walk on eggshells, and then yeah, that's what you choose.
Yeah. Well,
when
this
did
just. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, like, when did gaming become like this? Because it used to be
It's.
like a
I know.
subculture that was kind of edgy and didn't give a
Yeah.
shit, and it was just like about you know artistic freedom of expression
Mhm.
and doing what was interesting and cool, and like it was irreverent. And now it's become it's become this. It's just
It got
become a cog in the
hijacked.
machine.
Probably
Corporate-
keep in mind,
Corporatism.
a vast chunk of gamers don't even know this has happened.
Exactly. And the thing is they're just loud. And we've learned that with Hogwarts Legacy is that the gaming industry has been all of a sudden they just took over all of these crazies, all this crazy ideology and stuff has taken over the gaming industry just like it's plagued everything else. But they think they're catering to the majority. And what they're finding now, just even with Hogwarts Legacy as a perfect example, is they're not the majority at all. I think how this initially got to this point was that gaming was always like more edgy and more okay, your hardcores versus your casuals and all that. Well, then people started saying, "Why are you gatekeeping us? Why are you gatekeeping us casuals? We want to play too." And then it was like, "Okay, let's let more people in. Let's be more welcoming and invite them." Well, then they walked in and then took over. And then it's like wanting to put all of this message into everything, wanting to fill all these diversity quotas, needing this, that, and the others, this checklist, making games for this most like bottom of the barrel people who aren't really gamers but who wanted in on the hobby because it's like, oh, it's fun, it's profitable, they want in on it. And so we've seen even beyond just the message, we're seeing games that are babied down severely in general. People are just wanting to watch just a story on a screen, and gameplay is taking a back seat because the message is taking the front seat, and now gamers are getting sick of it. Gamers are being a lot more bold now, and I think with what's going on with Hogwarts Legacy and its success is going to help turn the tides. And even with Elden Ring last year, here's a game that put most of its focus on gameplay, giving gamers, actual gamers, not just the people who just only want to watch a pretty story, actual gamers got a real video game with Elden Ring. And that really made waves. And then now with Hogwarts Legacy here, people are realizing, hey, well, maybe we shouldn't be pandering to this other crowd.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but like the actual content of the game isn't in any way like transphobic or anything like that. It's like
No.
there's
It's the
even
opposite,
trans
right?
characters in it. Like,
Yeah,
so it's
they're-
like it's giving them all that they want, but because it's like associated with a person they don't like, that's it for them.
That's never been transphobic, by the way. Let's just
Exactly.
keep pointing that out. She's never been transphobic.
She never said anything actually transphobic. She's just like, oh, okay, keep wieners out of female restrooms. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. But
Well, basically,
I'm
what
a
she
bigot
said,
too, apparently. So
Yeah. what she said was the biological equivalent of 2 + 2 = 4.
yes.
Well, yes, they're trying to rewrite reality.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going on right now, and that is part of a culture war, a legit culture war. It's part of what happened in China, and that's my next video is about that. Bill Maher talked about it recently, getting rid of the 4 olds, and yeah, just up is down, black is white, good is evil. Everything will be turned upside down because it won't matter, and it's all in a move to just make us all like little pod people. And they are engineering the culture now. Did they start it as a master plan? No, it was very easy to do when you had a bunch of like-minded people. Then corporatism gets involved. Then these investment firms with their ESG and their DEIs get involved. And here we are. And what you just said, it's the same things happening in storytelling. They are dumbing down, Drinkers make great videos about it. They are dumbing down storytelling for the normies when we were all normies. We were all casuals when we started. We just liked the stories. They were good stories. So everything's getting watered down because there's too much right now. There's just everything's so there's not enough talent, and it's very easy for woke activists and middle management to come in and take over because the bankers don't pay attention and the creatives just want work. So that's how we get here. And also people weren't calling it out soon enough.
Exactly. We just like let it happen because we were told, oh, you're mean, you're gatekeeping, this and that. And so it's like, okay, let's be more welcoming. Well, then they just took over. And it's funny, I agree too with what you said, is how a lot of us were normies. I was always more on like the casual gamer side. I wasn't even considered like super hardcore before. But now with how the way games are now, or how gamers are now, the people who waltzed in and they don't even want video games to be video games anymore. It's just like the casuals of old are the hardcore now. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, we can always test your cred. Who's the main character's name in Halo?
John 117.
You know what? That's good enough.
Wasn't it the Asian girl from the TV show?
Oh yes, it was.
That's the main character.
The beloved TV show.
Like as a sign of just the hysteria that's been around this game, there was actually a site created to track the Twitch streamers who dared to play this game, and they were added to a list which you could then consult.
That is great.
And it's
I
nothing bad has
I'm
ever
not on
come
Twitch.
from adding people onto lists based on what they dare to do or what they are. So sure, that's nothing sinister about that. But fortunately, it's been shut down apparently
Yes.
after
Yeah,
a
it has.
couple of
Oh, the
days.
guy fucking
They did.
removed it because he was like, "Holy shit, I'm about to tank my whole life by making this
That's
thing."
hilarious.
Yeah, I think he might have had maybe a sudden attack of common sense, but it
been
just
known to
shows you though
happen.
that the impetus was there to create it, and it was
yeah.
getting a lot of traction as well. Which again, wow, you just have to look at the mentality of the people who would support something like that. It's like,
Exactly. That's
Look at
exactly
Desper,
right.
man.
Because
They egg
the
each other
intention-
on, and then they convince themselves it's apocalyptic. What's happening?
Oh yeah, they're like trans people are gonna die if you play this game. Like what? In what universe?
Yeah. Meanwhile, like just any normal person is just like, I just want to play a wizard game where I can
think-
like
Wouldn't
cast
the
spells.
Be a
logic
wizard,
be
damn it. Let me
fewer
be a
people are going to die because they're all going to be at home playing a game, so they're not going to be
Right.
outside doing
Yeah.
anything.
Exactly.
keeping them safe.
I think it might be actually
Well, see,
saving
that's-
lives.
My parents never bought the whole violent games make you violent. They were looking at me
Right.
play them. They were like, "But he's there, just playing."
Look at
Like, it's-
look at little Molly down there. Such
Yeah.
a sweet elder. God.
Wearing his gas mask.
Yeah.
naturally.
He's a perfectly normal boy.
It's funny that the one question I've never asked is like, is the game actually any good?
It is. Yeah,
after
it's
all this-
actually really good. I think it's great. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why it's succeeding, because obviously the whole just wanting to get back at all the wokes and proving them wrong. Buying it out of spite motivated a lot of people into buying it, but if it wasn't good, I don't think it would ultimately be as successful as it is right now. But it actually is a really good game so far from what I've
That's
played.
good to hear.
Mhm.
And is there a spell that allows you to turn people inside out? And if not, why not?
I haven't gotten that spell yet. I guess we'll see.
So
But
that's what I'm holding
The
out for.
combat's great. I think the combat is probably the best part of the game. It feels almost like you're playing an instrument with all those spells and how they have cooldowns and stuff and rotating through them, and your parries and all that. It's like a rhythm, and if you mess things up a little bit, it's like oh wait, but it's great. Yeah.
Fair play.
Voldemort would probably come up with a spell like that. I mean, like, the closest is Sectum Sempra, which gashes you open. That was
Oh, yeah.
Snape's spell.
Even I remember those ones.
There you go.
Isn't there one that can like remove all the bones from your body, so you're just like a kind of jelly man?
Yep,
Whoa.
Cool.
that was accidentally done, but yes, yeah.
That would be great. The fun that could be had.
Let's go see
yeah,
Madame
that's the
Pomfrey.
sort
You'll
of,
be fine.
that's the sort of thing that would draw me in. It's like, yeah, if you could just do ridiculous things to people, perfect. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
By the
Oh,
way,
and that's what's funny about it is that the haters were like, "Oh, they're trying to mass tag the game on Steam with quote bad tags, and they're calling it Genocide Simulator." And all that did was make us gamers go, "That sounds awesome! Sign me
Yeah.
up!"
Let's do it.
hey, what's Fantasy 4 if not genocide?
Right?
Genocide. That's right.
Exactly.
You know, you talk about all these elements of it, especially the one where it's like an engine to find out whether or not you've played the evil game. And sometimes I wonder, like, if Earth were a TV show aliens watch, like in Futurama, I think they'd be like, the writers are getting a little ridiculous at this point. Like, they're really desperate, pulling out these insane contrivances to make
Yeah.
drama. And I'm not liking this new season 2023. It's been pretty shitty. But
They're
then
gonna
most of
say
the
we
aliens
jumped
are
the
like,
shark.
this is the best shit ever. Are you kidding me? This is so fucking entertaining.
Yeah, and now what they're doing too is because they lost, they know they lost, and so instead of just letting things go, they're going into people's streams, they're going into people's replies on Twitter, and they're posting story spoilers for what happens at the end of the game. So that just proves that none of it was about virtue; it was all about control. And since they couldn't control us, they want to try to ruin the experience for people.
And of course, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not about virtue. It's about
Mhm.
control and politics. That's it. They just don't like her one thing. Politic. I can't
Yep.
even like plural that one. It's one politic that they don't like. And it's, you know, as a guy surrounded by my plastic pals here, I got to tell that fucking grow up. Okay. Like, for
Yeah.
one, you don't need validation from a video game or a
Mhm.
comic book or a movie. And if you require those things for validation, therapy is an option.
Yes.
Especially there's a lot of countries that offer it for free. So go.
Well, dude, the idea that they were trying to stop everyone from playing it, when that failed, they were like, "That's it, I'm spoiling the plot." It's like, hey,
Yeah.
real? Seriously.
For them to even know the plot, they had to watch or play themselves.
It is just like there's nothing that infuriates them more than when they don't get their own way.
Yep.
You know, when they come up against a person or a game or a movie that's so big that they can't cancel them.
Yep.
You know, that's just when the frustration and the screeching takes hold and they get desperate. Oh, we've lost Gary.
Well, the funny thing to me is a couple of my transgender friends are streaming it. I'm like, yeah.
Oh damn! Do they get called
Oh.
transphobic?
Yeah. They
yeah,
did?
they get called transphobic too. Yeah, and I'm just like, this is hilarious.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Was getting kicked. Did I get kicked?
No, you're here.
Okay. Somebody
you're
said
here.
kick Gary. I'm like,
I
what?
hear you, Gary. You're
Oh,
all right.
okay, no, somebody got salty in the chat and I was just laughing at it. I can't say it though. I can't say what they said. It was pretty
Yeah.
funny though.
I love it when chat
Props.
pops off with something amazing. And it's like, can't read it,
Can't
but I'm
read it.
appreciating it.
That's right. Oh my god. Hey, I bought the game because I bought the game because I wanted to
Yeah.
play it. Like had nothing to do with owning anybody or anything. I pre-ordered it I haven't touched it yet, but I can't wait to play it tonight. So
Yeah, and I look
No
forward
amount.
to getting it for the PlayStation 5. And then eventually, maybe sometime, I'll get the PlayStation 5.
All right.
There you go. No amount.
Is it just
of
going to have pride of
controversy.
place? Like you get it framed or something? And it's just
Yeah,
like
something like that,
Frame
like a
of PS5.
statement.
break
You
in
already
case
know
of
what,
purchasing PS5.
Do you already know what house you're gonna play as, Gary?
nope, I started from scratch because I signed up
Okay.
to Pottermore forever ago. So I was Ravenclaw back then. Now we're gonna start from scratch and see what happens.
Cool.
Probably-
Nobody
same thing,
in their right mind is ever going to pick fucking Hufflepuff.
Wow.
I am the
Why?
most chaotic Hufflepuff. Well, I got, I'm all the time on those personality quizzes I get Hufflepuff. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to be Hufflepuff, but I'm going to be a very chaotic Hufflepuff. And that's exactly what I'm doing. One of the quests, it was like this girl standing at the dock and she's like, oh, my family heirloom that my dad gave me, I lost it in the water. Can you fetch it for me? So I'm like, okay. So I go and grab it for her and come back. And then I tell her, I think I'll keep it for myself. She's like, you
Wow.
monster.
Not a true Hufflepuffian.
Not
Single-handedly bringing down the house reputation.
Yeah.
right. You're like the precursor. Well, no, Cedric brought it back, but you're the reason it was down for so long until Cedric. It will be you.
It's funny you say that. There's a sketch with David Mitchell where he's pretending to be an announcer for Hufflepuff and he's talking about their achievements list and he's like silent and then he goes, one of us died. Something that happened. I don't know.
I never understood what Ravenclaw was all about. Like, obviously Slytherin's well-defined, Gryffindor's like the all-rounders. Like, what's Ravenclaw's
They
thing?
judge everyone else from high above on their thrones.
Yeah,
I like
wit
them.
beyond
Perfect.
measure is man's greatest treasure. So they're clever. They're the clever ones.
Oh, okay, so that's their
So
thing.
Slytherin is the devious one. Ravenclaw are a bit aloof and they're smart. They're very smart.
Brave, smart, courageous, and autistic, I think, are the four, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That sounds
That's their
right.
virtue.
it.
Harness your autism.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Weaponize.
You
your
could make a
autism.
6-hour video on a movie if you do it right.
That's Mahler's entire channel. What are you talking about? And we love it.
We do indeed. Where would we be without the long man?
Aw,
Yeah.
Short. We'd be short.
we'd be sure.
Just making short videos, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what we'd be doing. But yeah, there was something else that's obviously been in the news quite a bit over the past couple of days. Disney they seem to be kind of imploding, but at the same time, there's power struggles at the highest levels, and Bob Iger, I think, has made his most recent earnings report, and had a call with his investors to outline his strategy going forward, and it seems to be fire a bunch of people, like make money, trim costs, somehow get the company profitable again, because damn, Disney Plus has lost like 2.5 million subscribers. That's not great. That's
No.
not great stuff.
It's safe to say it's now official. What we've known for ages is now official. It's like, there you go. It failed. The streaming experiment failed miserably. I mean, we've
And
had a couple
remember,
complications anyway.
That's them skewing the numbers in the most
Yes.
positive direction possible. Okay.
Well, yeah.
We're not counting
Well, and-
all the paused subscribers who are basically people who left but their name is still in the system. Andre knows about that one. Dude,
Oh, absolutely.
CBS All Access pulled that off. We already know Warner Brothers, because they had to open their books for the sale, got busted fudging numbers. Yeah, so that's the positive spin. How bad is it really going? I mean, well, we know they're restructuring everything, and 7,000 people, which is a drop in the bucket to Disney, have lost their jobs because of this, which sucks. You know,
It's 3% of their total workforce, actually, because the total workforce of Disney is around 200,000 something. So I read some calculation that 3% of the total workforce has to go. So obviously, like the Bob Chapek distribution division, that's mostly gutted already. But the rest is going to come from a little bit here and there. But a really big thing, because Iger basically said that, yeah, they're kind of going to cut their way to profitability. And Iger's problem is that he has put so much pride and so much of his legacy into Disney Plus. Now, as you guys already said, the streaming model for Disney Plus, like, it's failing across the board, but it's especially failing for Disney Plus because they gambled so much on it. And what he revealed is that, or rather what he doubled down on, is that from 2024, from next year, he promises that there's going to be money in Disney Plus. The number of subscribers, even though there's no real growth. Now, to be fair, like that 2.4 million loss of subscribers, that's mostly in India because they lost like this batch thing right there.
Hotstar.
Yeah, exactly. In North America, there is still growth. However, it is anemic, and that is even with all of the tricks in the books. So probably there's a detraction of subscribers there as well. So they were able to paint a picture of it's actually grown by 200,000 in this quarter, which is anemic for one thing, and it's probably not true, not really for the other. So, but still, they have blown so much money on content for Disney Plus. So the only way they can make this profitable is by making cuts. And to me, the big thing that Iger announced was that they're going to cut the pot for content creation across the board. This is Marvel, this is Star Wars, this is Pixar, this is everything. It's going to be cut by $3 billion.
So does that mean less content or just lower quality content?
Yes. What it means is that it means two things.
We're already getting that.
We can't go much lower.
Yeah.
We've had She-Hulk.
Yes.
It's going to be less money for each individual thing. Like, for instance, in She-Hulk, you saw how they were like joking that just turn the camera way over here while we make the transformation, because we don't have money for it. They may have been half joking then. They're not going to be joking for going forward. So, because there's going to be less money for each individual project that they are making. But so many things that they were planning on making are just going to have to be scrapped. Because think about it, $3 billion. That's essentially the cost of a full Marvel face that won't be made now in the next 5 years.
Isn't the total like they need to cut 5.5 billion
across the board? Yeah, and the 7,000 employees they're cutting, they're part of that. But specifically, just for content creation, this is what we're going to see on screen. That's $3 billion.
So we can kiss goodbye to that Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy then.
I think we can.
Oh no!
Not only that, you may even kiss goodbye to the Leslie Headland Acolyte series. Maybe they don't have money for that. They certainly might not have money for Damon Lindelof's Star Wars project.
What happened to the Lando show? Remember the Lando show they announced?
Is it going to be him and the droid by Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Yeah, there's supposed to be a solo Lando show done by some
couldn't afford
critical race
Phoebe
theory
Waller-Bridge,
writer. Yeah,
because she probably was going to be like the real star of it, knowing Lucasfilm, right?
Well, I guess this is the question then. Is this like a kind of backdoor way of saying, like, we're going to cut out all the woke shit that we've been...
No.
pushing.
No.
Hell no.
Because you could, it would have been the perfect opportunity
It
for that. Just like, well, we
would've.
wanted to do this show, you know, but we just don't have the funds anymore, so we're gonna have to can it for now.
Yeah, no, that stays. Because if you all recall, I'd send you the clip if I had it here. But this was actually the day after Iger came back after his coup d'état of the company. There was like this Disney town hall, and he was asked about being good and moral and everything like that, and trying to balance this with what audiences wanted. And what he had to say is that we can't lose this. Like, Disney is all about being woke. No, he didn't use those exact terms. He basically gaslit everyone, and he spoke about like Disney's long tradition of like social messaging, which is total bullshit. They didn't have that until like the last 5 years. But he pretended that they always had that, meaning the modern day wokeness. And then he concluded with, we can't lose that. We just can't lose that, even if we lose money. And he basically said that, well, we can't be as woke. We need to make some level of money here. So it's going to be some give and take between what the audience wants and what we, the woke folk, wants. So, yeah, no, that ain't going anywhere. Maybe the only thing that's going to happen, and this is something that Kevin Feige said in another interview in a podcast with, I don't remember the name of the podcast, but he basically also said that what we have learned is that we have to entertain audiences first. It doesn't help what beautiful messages we put into the movies and the TV series if people aren't entertained. So we need to entertain people while pushing the message.
Yep.
So that's what they're going to
I
try
mean,
to do.
it's so funny that they had to learn that lesson. It's like, you work for a fucking entertainment company, mate. What did you think you were there for?
Yeah, it feels like entry level, but okay. Fair
I
enough.
would argue that's what they think they're doing, though. Like already,
Right.
like they've already given enough ground. Like they're going full steam ahead with Echo. Got delayed for a year, and that Harkness show, the Marvels, thank God, is coming out in a few months. Can't wait. I've got it marked on my calendar, counting the days like it's Christmas.
Release the trailer, you fucking cowards.
Yeah. No, I guess we're getting one during the Super Bowl.
I think it will be. Is that this
Getting one
weekend?
during the Super Bowl.
I guess you are right, Gary, because like it was part of the fucking narrative in She-Hulk that they make the perfect content, right? The algorithm,
Yep.
it just sorts it all out. It's like, how's that algorithm doing now?
Yeah.
Because I want it said as part of this whole thing with the whole streaming thing. Like, if they had made nothing but good TV and good movies, I still wouldn't have expected like super success with how much effort and money they put into it. But sadly for them, they made a bunch of terrible shit, so it didn't really matter. Like the idea that you put out a whole bunch of, like, if all the Marvel movies and shows were really good, I don't know that they would have gotten the numbers they were looking for.
No,
Right.
there's still too much of it. You're right. Like it's spamming content at this point. So they're still raking. It's kind of, well, it's spamming anything. You'll get better numbers. They did this in comics too. This spam with variants and stuff. So it's the Hollywood version of it, because you have fewer people going. We've all talked about it, but the Hollywood ticket sales, the theater ticket sales are down almost 50% from 2018. So that's a big problem. And I tweeted about it today because I'm never letting this go. I hated the fact that taxpayers bailed out movie theaters during COVID. That freaking pissed me off. I hate taxation as theft. That's it. And I hate bailing out giant corporations that should just fail. We did that with the banks. Then we did with freaking movie theaters, and now they're all failing 2 years later, like we all knew they would. When Hollywood had enough money, go bail those damn things out yourself. You need them. You need them more than we do. So now, AMC is doing the European model of ticket pricing, which makes sense because Hollywood has provided them nothing, given them nothing to put out in their theaters. They have Avatar and what, Ant-Man, which will be a blip for like a week. And we had to subsidize that, which just gets under my skin. But this is all, like, all their chickens are coming home to roost now. All this shit is happening. The thing is, your woke Hollywood revolution ended up needing capitalism all along. Too bad it failed. Fuck off.
Yeah, kind of. But basically, that's kind of like the gist of it. That they're going to have to cut a ton of money and the reason And this is something that I was annoyed to see everyone kind of ignore. But the reason they have to make these cuts is the wide-scale audience rejection. And it's specifically of the entertainment wing. That is why that's where they have to cut the 3 billion. It's because people are no longer going to see Marvel movies the way that they did. Like half the audience have been Thanos'd away. For Lucasfilm, it's more than half the audience is failing on Disney Plus. And this year, Pixar drove away audiences with Lightyear, and Disney Animation drove away even more audiences with Strange Worlds. And they're
that was
the
a
messaging.
shocking movie. Like 175 million budget, and they made about 20 million from it.
Even the dog was handicapped. It's like unbelievable. You couldn't make a better parody if you tried to.
Wow. Yeah,
you
wasn't
didn't
it?
know?
It was like less than a year ago too that one of the Disney execs said, "Oh, we're gonna make sure 50% of characters are LGBT or something like that." Gary's
Guys
like,
just
"Why?"
noped right out of this. It's weird because he was just staring like this, like right at the camera for ages, and then just gone.
It was intense for a minute there.
It absolutely was. But yeah,
Too
no,
much
like
intensity.
Strange World. It might as well have been called SJWs in Space, because that's exactly what it is with or what it was with a handicapped dog, and anyone straight there was an aberration to the normal. So it was very agenda driven, and the audience are not having it. So now they have to cut budgets. They have to be smarter with what they're making. Oh, here's another funny thing. Smarter with what they're making. You know what? How Iger is going to fix this for Disney Animation, for Pixar. They're going to make like a new golden age, more great original content, more classics like Frozen, stuff like that. Nope. Sequels.
Yeah.
Get Toy Story 5, Frozen
Oh yeah,
3, Zootopia number 2. That's the magic bullet to solve this.
So do you
Well,
think oh sorry. I don't know.
No, on you go, Melanie. I've
But
interrupted you
what do you
before.
think about like Tim Allen saying like, "Oh, I'm coming back as Buzz Lightyear"? Do you think that was kind of like a thing on Disney to announce this? Let's try to smooth things over with people who have kind of given up on us.
I mean, he should have been in Lightyear.
I know.
Yeah.
I never understood the reasoning. Like, people were like, well, but the idea is that in universe, the Buzz Lightyear toy that Tim Allen does the voice for is based on a movie that comes out in universe. And so the actor that plays that guy in that movie doesn't have to be Tim Allen. It's like, why not, though?
Well,
Right.
is the real
Just
reason
make him
not
Tim
just
Allen.
that. Yeah, but is the real reason not that Tim Allen's like slightly conservative leaning?
That's the real reason.
He's
It would-
just, like,
it would be that
totally
and-
out of.
Chris Evans theoretically has... Is it Chris Evans that voices him?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has more star power theoretically, but I don't think
Yeah,
he
he
worked
totally
out, did it?
doesn't know.
It
It's like
didn't
take
help.
Chris Evans out of Captain America, and it's just he's not got it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean,
exactly
and-
right.
It's a point Anthony Mackie made as well, right? And a couple people have, like, I think Quentin Tarantino was one of the latest to do it, and he pissed off Simu Liu with the whole, you guys, like, it's almost like you've got a paving of what kind of fame you have. It's not for like acting as a star or taking on characters necessarily. It's just like you are this hero now. That is your fame. It's a very different environment.
Well, yeah, it's
got
like people
upset
don't
about
go
that.
to the cinema to see actors or movie stars; they go to see characters now. It's like, oh, you've heard that the latest Iron Man movie's coming out, or whatever it might be. It's like, yeah, you don't care so much about who's playing that person. It's just, it's just the character.
It feels so manufactured as star power as well, right? Like oh man, Simu Liu is a star. It's like, what do you mean why? It's like, well, he was that guy from that thing.
From that
but
Canadian comedy show, right?
It's
I'm
exactly like it's like a bunch of people who've never met each other thrown together, do a talent contest, and they get put into a manufactured pop group. You know, like we got in the UK, like you've got over in America. It's like fucking
Like Led Zeppelin.
yeah.
They
I mean, it's
were
just-
a manufactured pop group, by the way. Just wanted to let y'all know. Wasn't joking
No.
about that one. It's true.
Um,
Like the monkeys.
You know, you're saying the audience has been Thanos snapped. It's like you're completely correct for so many reasons that we're going to be talking about today. But I was also thinking about how Phase 4, because we've talked about this on other streams. How many projects are in Phase 4? Is it? I want to say
17.
17, something like that. Yeah.
Way
I
too
think
many.
So So you think about it, and it's like, what can keep people invested? It's like, well, individual stories that are just good, and so they reliably are like same IP. I'll get more good stuff, and then some in building to a big story. Obviously, endgame success is the combo of those two things. I would say phase 1, 2, and 3 leading up to them. It is actually fucking nuts. That you're like, oh, okay, so let's pretend we was from Endgame. You were time traveled over to here, and you're a huge Marvel fan. It's like, you've got TV show, movie, TV show, movie. I'm up to No Way Home movie, Moon Knight TV show, MOM movie, She-Hulk TV show, Thor movie, What If TV show, Miss Marvel TV show, Werewolf by Night, I guess special, Black Panther movie, Secret Invasion is on the way. It's not there yet. And then Guardians special. It's like, I've got all of that. And what's the story being built? It's like, oh, well, no, wait till Ant-Man and we'll start up the story.
Yeah, we actually have the answer to that. Kevin Feige, he addressed that when he was like asked after the fact, like, what the hell was the point with Phase 4? Because nothing happened of any kind of significance. And then he admitted that, it was just about new introductions.
It was about
So all these
experimentation. Yeah,
it was bringing a bunch of new characters. None of you have to
Yeah,
care
there
about.
was
none of them
next
stuck.
Avengers.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't some of it down to James Gunn having to take a hiatus from Marvel?
Yes.
Because he was supposed to be the guy in charge of the multiverse phase.
Yeah.
And then all those unfortunate tweets surfaced, and he had to go bye-bye for a little while. And so there was no driving force really behind Phase 4. It was just then a bunch of meandering
I have a theory.
stuff.
I have a theory that Gods and Monsters is a repurposed phrase from fucking Marvel. That's what because it sounds like it really would have fit.
You know,
in
yeah,
Phase
you know they
4.
regret it. They regret it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, we shouldn't have temporary you either cancel or you don't. You don't temporary cancel someone. What is that?
They're gonna be a little pissed about it, and they are like they are not happy with. They're working together. Like James Gunn went back out of loyalty for the cast and crew, right?
Yeah.
He is not happy with Disney. And you even saw, I don't know if you saw the interview, Andre. It was during last Marvel thing. We'll just say last Marvel thing. And he was being interviewed about James Gunn. And he goes, well, James Gunn still has to work 7 months for us.
Yeah,
And it didn't sound nice at all.
No.
Yeah.
That's, and then he finished with like, and after that, I'll be first in line to see whatever he does. I was like thinking, whoa, that's some hostility right there. I mean, that you could feel that passive aggression that there was. And you are, of course, entirely right. The whole plan for Phase 4 initially was that it wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to begin with Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. At one point in time, that was supposed to be the beginning of Phase 4, and then it was going to go cosmic. And James Gunn was going to be, if anything, the main architect behind it. And probably it was going to be amazing. But then Alan Horn, being the idiot that he was, he went and he fired James Gunn on a whim, thinking that this was the right thing to do. And they could just replace him on Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 with another director like they've done on 20 other movies. Boy, was he mistaken, because that, I submit, destroyed the MCU. Of course, it was going down the drain anyway with Kevin Feige being completely woke, but I don't think it would have been so bad if we could have gotten a series of cosmic movies led by James Gunn. Wouldn't have been so bad. But instead, that didn't happen, and then they had to scramble to come with all these other projects. That's when Victoria Alonso, who is super duper woke, when she suddenly got a Battlefield promotion, because all of these movies that have come out in the last few years, Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, they weren't overseen by Kevin Feige. They were overseen by Victoria Alonso. She was the one who was there on set. She was the one who approved the script and everything. She was the day-to-day producer on them. She obviously doesn't have what Kevin Feige once did.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have what he once did.
Yeah.
No.
He's just a burned out shell of a man. Like, too much superhero stuff.
I mean, like,
I just want to
Phase
do this
4
anymore.
burned all the fuel from Phase 3. It's gone.
Not only that, there's more to it, actually. Because when you go back to all of the best Marvel movies, Kevin Feige is the one that gets credit for it, but actually there was a full team behind him. Just like George Lucas with the original trilogy. it wasn't him alone. He had Marsha Lucas and many others
Gary Kurtz
along the
yep.
way. Exactly. And same thing with Kevin Feige. One of the perhaps most important people was one Ike Perlmutter, who was there behind the scenes, always keeping Kevin Feige in check.
Yep.
And
then the lies got spun. Now Perlmutter did say he absolutely did, and he's not wrong that like, oh, we can't do a Captain Marvel movie because like girl action figures don't sell, which is I'm sorry, it's true.
Right.
It's just true to boys. But they tried to put Black Panther on him, which is just that's a lie. He tried to develop a Black Panther movie with Wesley Snipes. Tried very hard. So that was a lie. So that was Iger found a way to push Perlmutter out by essentially calling him, saying he was a racist.
They basically smeared him. They smeared him and they got him out.
And what he was a huge Trump donor. He was a huge
still
Trump
is. He's
supporter.
a personal friend of Trump.
Yes. And he's like really aloof, doesn't like pictures being taken, doesn't give interviews or anything. But he's pissed. Well, Iger admitted it today in an article that he's mad the way we took him out.
Yeah. And Perlmutter, he also even wanted to get rid of Kevin Feige back in 2015. But he was outmaneuvered by Feige, who ratted up with Iger, and the two of them were able to get rid of Perlmutter instead. At that point, Kevin Feige was completely unopposed. He had all the power over all things Marvel, and what he did with it is basically the same thing that George Lucas did with the prequels. He had the same basic ideas, but now he was unchallenged by anyone that could keep his more wild, aloof, and woke ideas in check. He removed the control mechanism. And you didn't see it right away. It took a few years, but that's when the problems came. So like everything up until Infinity War, all of that was with Perlmutter still there. Phase 4 and all the madness, well, that's pure Feige and the people that he chose to promote to replace James Gunn.
Can I just say as well, I would have loved to have seen a Black Panther with Wesley Snipes in it.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Epic. Yeah.
Love that.
And he got Marvel out of bankruptcy, right? And then we got Blade. And we got the X-Men. We got Spider-Man. And Kevin Feige was there. He worked under Avi Arad, who's a weirdo too, but they're all weirdos in Hollywood. They're all freaking weirdos. And yeah, Feige basically took over the MCU, as Andre said, right after Civil War, during or right after Civil War. And
right before Civil War.
So,
Civil War was the instigating event. Because that's where what happened with Civil War is that Kevin Feige, he saw that, oh shit, this is DC, they are planning Batman v Superman, and all we have is a generic Captain America Part 3. We have to counter Batman v Superman. So I want to bring in Captain America, I want to bring in Iron Man, I want to make it a mini Avengers movie, and we're going to do this. To which Kevin Perlmutter said, are you crazy? That's going to cost way too much. Ain't no way we're doing that. We have a plan. Let's stick to it. Kevin Feige didn't like that response. And Perlmutter didn't like the opposition. That's when the two really clashed. And when Perlmutter wanted to get rid of Feige. But then Feige allied himself with Iger, and that was the end for Perlmutter.
That was it.
And then we got the Civil War, that we got this huge mini Avengers movie. But the plan that they had was deviated from.
I liked.
I
totally liked it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's worth mentioning that it comes after Age of Ultron, which a lot of people felt on.
But that was, I mean, there was tons of interference on that with
the Whedon stuff, yeah.
On the Whedon stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kind of an amazing disaster. Like the people always shit on the DCU for being a disaster, but Marvel was like, it's like a horrible disaster with a really good paint job, I guess.
Yeah, they got rid of their comic book brain trust. This was all during the Netflix era too, when that stuff was starting out. But then Marvel Disney quietly stopped supporting those shows. That's why their budgets go down and they all kind of suck after that, because they're like, oh, we're gonna do our own streaming service and have our own thing, so let's get the hell out of this as quick as we can.
Yeah, but it was also mutual on Netflix end, because from Netflix point of view, they were the ones that canceled the shows instantly after Bob Iger basically announced that we're going to do Disney Plus and we're going to become a competitor to Netflix.
But there were, you saw the seeds. I mean, like Daredevil season 3 is like, it's probably the best of the later seasons of any of the shows, but it's still not. It's nowhere near as good as season 1 and 2.
Not quite there.
Not even close.
I didn't actually like season 2 all that much either.
I like half of season 2.
I loved it.
Season 2,
the magical ninjas and stuff just really started.
The hand is fucking awesome. I love
all
the
agree
hand.
the Punisher half was good.
Yeah, I agree. And you just enjoy that, because the rumor is that, speaking of Daredevil, you didn't like season 3 on Netflix. Well, you're gonna miss it when we get to Marvel's Daredevil, because the plan is that you now have Echo. And Echo is the series that's going to lead into Daredevil. And Daredevil... What? Oh, yes, absolutely. It's not going to be a completely standalone thing. No. It'll be set up by Echo. So she's going to be there. She-Hulk is going to be there. It has all of these SJW...
Oh, God, please make it happen. Sounds amazing.
We'll have content for weeks.
and this is unconfirmed, but apparently John Bernthal is going to be back as the Punisher.
In a Marvel
are they going to give him?
of...
Are they going to give him that new look? Is he going to?
That is what
the new skull,
the katanas, and
because in the comics they made him a ninja now. They made him a member of the Hand.
He's going to be like a toxic male that needs to work through his anger issues over a nice soy latte.
Punisher season 2.
Maybe he goes after the fans in the intelligentsia. That could happen.
Yeah.
What a joke!
What it's going to be like? They hate the Punisher. I don't like. They don't know what to do with him. He represents everything they hate. So they took away one of the most iconic symbols to own the chuds, to own the Republicans and the cops. It's like so weak. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be absolutely terrible. Just enjoy those 3 seasons of Daredevil on Netflix. The season 1 is the best thing Marvel will have ever done in live action. Period.
Yeah. I agree, and also enjoy season 2 for the Punisher, because
I love season 2. It's very comic book. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's like that and Punisher Warzone is like the most Punisher thing you're ever going to get in live action.
I love Punisher Warzone.
Ray Stevenson, right?
Yeah, that's the Ray Stevenson one. That is the that's actually the only live action iteration of the Punisher to get his origin story right. Not even the Netflix series did that.
Yeah, here's it. Like, doesn't Bernthal want to come back? But as long as it's like the Netflix series, because I think he is quite protective of this character.
That's what he said, and this is why I'm hoping that those rumors are not true, because either they got to him, they were able to give him a deal that he couldn't say no to, or it's all bullshit. And I'm kind of like hoping for that. What I don't think is going to happen is that Marvel is going to give him the kind of Punisher that he wants to do. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't see them using guns. Remember, they took away guns in Falcon and Winter Soldier because they didn't want to. So they just had him stabbing everybody to death.
That's much better.
Much better way to die.
Yeah.
except for the villainous John Walker, who he was killing people pretty well, you know. So he didn't have a gun, did he? Or did he? Did he have a gun? Because Cap had a gun in his originals.
He had a sidearm, I think, and then he used the shield to just bludgeon people to death quite a lot of the time.
It's funny, there's videos on YouTube of like Cap's kill count. It's like a lot of people like to pretend he never killed anybody. Like when John Walker kills someone.
Cap does not have a no-kill thing.
No, he doesn't. He kills the fuck out of people.
Yeah,
I mean, you take a vibranium shield to the face, like you're going down. I think.
Well, do you guys remember?
Superman Cap will freaking kill you.
One of the best kills I think Cap has is in Winter Soldier, where he kicks a guy on a boat, and he flings back into the side of the boat and breaks his spine and falls over the back of it. And so you know that he would have fallen in the water and had half his body not wicked at least, and just probably drowned.
God.
It's like, yep. It's like Cap's like, hey man, fight for the wrong side. You win stupid prizes, I guess.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
So yeah, like part of the maneuvering that's been going on at Disney was I don't think we'd covered this quite yet. Was an investor called Nelson Peltz, who's an activist investor who wanted to get a seat on the board at Disney to basically call for a vote of no confidence in Iger, which has now been forestalled by like what Iger has agreed to do with his cost cutting. So it seems like he's kind of caved a little bit to what Peltz fundamentally wanted, which is a return to profitability through cost cutting.
Hey, could we make money again, please?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy idea.
There's actually a little bit more to that. There's actually quite a bit to unpack there. First, let's begin with the term activist investor, because that's something I think that some will be confused by. Because when we say the term activist in our circles, we usually refer to crazy SJW
Blue hair.
authoritarian who is fighting to make the world a worse place to everyone. That's what we usually mean when we say activist. But that is not what activist investor means. Within the jargon used within banking and finance, an activist investor really is only a shareholder who has a significant stake in a company, but who is not on the board, but then tries to use their share to enforce a new direction for the company, usually by getting onto the board. This takes us to the term proxy battle. Proxy battle is then basically that this shareholder goes to all of the other shareholders, or at least the other shareholders that can be convinced, and asks them to vote for this shareholder, and then kick someone else off the board to put this person there instead, so that they then get on the board and can sway the board and change company policy from there. This is something that Nelson Peltz has a long history of doing. He acquires a position in the company, uses that to leverage himself to get onto the board, and then he makes the company profitable. So if you are a shareholder and Nelson Peltz gets into that company, then vote for him, because he's going to make you more money. This guy has a tradition of doing that. Now, what you said about him doing a vote of misconfidence in Bob Iger, maybe that's what he ultimately wanted to do, but there's no evidence to actually support that. He started a campaign with a website and everything called Restore the Magic, where he laid out in detail exactly what he wanted to do and also what he did not want to do. And one of those things was to evict Bob Iger. He was happy with Bob Iger to be there for the 2 years that he is supposed to be there, but he did demand a plan of succession to get someone more fit onto the CEO position after Iger, and also a number of measures to ensure profitability for the company, and also to reinstate dividend payments, because they were frozen last year here. And obviously, some kind of backdoor dealings must have taken place, because I've seen some articles that try to pretend like, Iger outmaneuvered him completely and he stomped him to the ground. And no, Iger, he gave in completely on everything. He gave Peltz everything he wanted. Obviously, something must have happened behind there, because like the first 10 minutes in Iger's speech, they were all about addressing the exact points that Peltz wanted, what he had said in public, that this is what I want to do. And that's kind of what Iger laid out. This is what we're doing. At that point, Peltz no longer needs to be on the board, because Iger has already given in to his demands. Quite possibly because he knew that if I don't do this, then Peltz is going to be successful and get on the board. And then maybe that would spell the end for Iger.
And he still owns a lot of stock too.
Yes,
that
and
helps.
that stock has now increased a shit ton in value because of this. Because this is something that we need to focus on. Because although you had like revelations, like that they're going to cut $3 billion worth of content, still the share price actually increased afterwards. Not because of the entertainment content, but because of the good numbers of the parks. Which, ironically, is because of measures that Bob Chapek did, not Iger.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The layoffs helped too, and the hope. I mean, like it went up. Didn't it bump a little bit when Bob Iger like was announced, and then it went right back to reality?
Yes, exactly. You had like all the excitement because everyone were like taken in by the, let's call it psyop in the media, with the entirety of the entertainment media complex being dead against Chapek, being against everything he wanted to do.
Because he was just like the cynical money man, wasn't he? He was like, I'm not really into the ideology. I'm not trying to preach messages.
Correct.
Like, my job is to just make a profitable company. It's crazy, I know. And so, from that moment, he had a target on his back.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that what Iger is doing now is basically just continuing what Chapek had already started.
Yeah.
Is it possible to understand him as a fall guy, and that maybe he even knew that?
Maybe that's what a lot of people suspected. I mean, even Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers brought that up. Like the day we did a live stream, and we're like, this is, Bob Iger's bailing out right before COVID because he's a coward. And he was right. He came back. Said he didn't want to. I don't want to come back only for 2 years. Bullshit. Your presidential aspirations took a crap, so you want to come back and protect your legacy because your company is failing based on all the shitty moves you made, including Fox, which was it's going to bury them. And their parks have been saving their ass and always have been saving their ass. And then you find out how big this company is. Hotstar being in India, that was a cricket. Cricket, I guess, is pretty big in India. So they lost that. They lost that contract. So that's where a lot of the subscriber loss is. But they're also hiding a lot of other bullshit. I mean, they're just, like I said before, if any of these shows were that successful, you would know all the numbers. If She-Hulk was being watched by 20 million people per night, you would know. They would go, look at these numbers, but the reason they don't show you the numbers, they don't even show them to the creatives who work on them. That was a little surprising. Like not even the higher up creatives. They don't even show them to them. That should tell you everything.
But even with the parks, like, didn't they lose their special tax status in Florida? That was a massive hit to them because that was saving them an absolute fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Because they decided to go to war with the fucking governor who's a Republican. Smart move, guys. Well done.
There was a corporation that was pretty much autonomous in this country that could run itself, police itself, regulate itself, which is insane. And I kind of like that. There's, I'm a decentralized guy, less government, better.
Mm-hmm.
But if it hurts Disney, who's acting like a government amongst themselves, fuck them. Good for DeSantis to do that and not, lay it on Floridians. Now Disney has to pick up the tab. They were trying to push that, people from Florida, the taxpayers from Florida, were going to have to pick this up. That was bullshit. And that got taken care of. And now they're going to be regulated by Florida. And they just lost the sweetest deal because they got involved in one political hot button issue that was completely misrepresented by, I know this doesn't surprise anybody, the mainstream media. That was just, hey, let's not get sexual with 6-year-olds. Can we just not do that, please?
But it's weird because Chapek's first move was to just not get involved. His entire mindset was
smart move.
We're an entertainment company. It's not our job to get involved in local political issues or anything like that. And of course, the activists that worked at Disney threw an absolute hissy fit, staged protests. They were all covered and amplified by the news media. And so within a matter of days, Chapek has to cave in and say, no, we're fully against this bill that we don't care about in the slightest, but we have to pretend that we're against it. And then Yep, that's it. Well, the governor of Florida was like, "Well, fine. If you're against me, then I'm against you. You're gonna lose your special privileges that you've been enjoying for all these years." And it's such a dumb thing to do. Like, why go to war with people that can absolutely ruin your business?
Well,
It's
there's more
so...
to it actually, because it's easy to say that it was the activists, but it wasn't just the activists. They were organized, and they were organized by Peter Rice, and behind him, Bob Iger was always there, stirring trouble behind the scenes, undermining Chapek at every turn. And in that particular case, there was a whole well orchestrated campaign against Chapek within Disney. Again, with websites, with flyers, with demand letters. That's why Chapek had to cave the way that he did, because he was pressured into a corner where he basically had to give in to the demands, or be fired on the spot. Which he
Isn't it
later was
funny
anyway.
that, I mean, Chapek was around when Gina got fired, and the same thing fucking happened to him.
Yeah.
The organization from within, it was Disney employees creating websites, all kinds of shit, struggle sessions, same shit.
Disney's very own deep state.
Yep.
Well, here's the one. I'm not sure if you guys have played Final Fantasy VII, but Disney is basically the Shinra Corporation at this point. If they start getting into like power and energy distribution, yeah, you'll know. Yeah, we've got this great idea for Mako reactors.
I don't get it.
De
I
facto
don't get it.
government.
I'm like Captain America and Avengers. I don't get it.
Gary, you boomer.
Yep.
We'll get you there one day, man. Don't worry.
Final Fantasy? There's 7 of them? Yeah, I'll never get there.
There's been like 20
Way
of
more
them
than
at this
7.
point.
There's 20? No.
Yeah.
I'll play Hogwarts and Witcher. I'll be fine.
There you go.
Tetris.
One day you'll get through that door. I'll be all right.
I will get.
Okay.
Hey, there's a spell. There's a charm in Harry Potter. Does it work in Harry Potter? I'm sorry, Hogwarts. Aloha Mora. Does it work? Does it only unlock the door, or does it open the door?
That's the funny thing about it is I'm a gamer and not much of a Harry Potter.
Okay.
I don't know
We'll
that
find
much
out.
about the Harry Potter universe. I can tell you about what I've played in Hogwarts Legacy, but how
Well, don't
much
you have a
is like
broom
Harry
already?
Potter?
Don't
Yes,
you have a-
I got my broom yesterday.
Right
but
on.
I encountered the glitch though that there's a certain glitch that some people are getting where it makes all the voices really deep. It's not going to get fixed till day 1 patch, so I'm waiting until tomorrow to play it again.
Hey, if it unlocks the doors, I can get through them. Okay,
Okay.
I can get through them.
Can you get up the transphobic staircase though? That's
Maybe
what Mo and
not.
I
Yeah,
wanna
that's
know.
Well,
the question.
That's the challenge.
I'm transphobic, so I guess I can't.
the one thing that no one can overcome.
I will say.
I like
again,
this idea
That
as
is
well,
from
though.
the books, by the way. That is absolutely from the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh? The white materia summons the Omega bigot, the ultimate bigot. Let me ask you guys about Last of Us,
Oh god.
because I know most of the people here have seen it, and you're probably up to date on episode 4. So, where are you guys with it now? How are you feeling about it so far?
I was over it after episode 1 and I kind of checked out after that because I'm like, the game tells the story so much better. I'd rather just play the game again.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one because, yeah, I think the game so far has probably done a better job for the most part. I don't think the show's bad. Like, I think it's a pretty solid adaptation. And it's had, like, occasional little flashes of brilliance, but I'm still not quite buying into the Ellie and Joel dynamic here.
Right.
I'm still not loving their relationship, and I'm not loving the actors. And I think episode 4 was going to be the one that's the episode that was really going to sell us on this, because it's the first time it's an entire episode of the two of them together just interacting with each other.
So after the episode 3 filler episode, we're back to Joel and Ellie now.
Yes.
Okay.
And-
Is Tess still alive?
No.
Oh, I'm
She's not.
shocked. I thought they were gonna. I thought they were gonna keep her around longer. Okay.
No, she was out of the game by the end of episode 2.
Well, okay, so they actually stayed more accurate. I'm surprised about that. That's good though.
It's pretty accurate to the
Okay,
game so
That's
far.
good. That's good. I like that. Maybe I should start watching it again.
I mean, yeah, like don't force yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it's you're not missing the ride of a lifetime or anything on this one, but it's it's pretty solid. I'll say that. Like, I've got respect for the work that they put in on this one. There's a lot of little references to the games, and some of it is just like shot for shot, perfect.
Okay. So with episode 3, did you feel tricked into watching the episode, as they say?
No, because I think they told a good story with that,
Mhm.
and I think
Okay.
it was a pretty heartwarming story, I guess. Amongst all this horrible shit that's going down, like just two people that still are clinging on to the last remnants of civilization, I suppose.
Okay.
And I think when they check out, ultimately that's the last vestiges of like the old world that you used to know, and it's all gone. So I thought that was pretty well done.
Fun. Yay!
So Mahler, how do you feel about it? Because I know when we talked about it last, like you liked the first episode, and I was one of the more critical sides
I
of
was
it.
gonna let y'all cook, okay?
Okay, now it's your turn to cook.
I think it's easily good. Like I use that word very deliberately. Okay, I'm not saying great. It is good. It's more than solid. After episode 4, I think it's really come together now. I got all the elements I was looking for.
Solid does mean good, Mahler.
Does it? I don't know anymore. Words are difficult.
Well, solid's like a 7 out of 10, between 6 and 7 out of 10. That's the way I interpret it.
Well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not spectacular, but not bad. Just
So
reliable.
I didn't see episode 4. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Well, a lot of people
say.
didn't like episode 4 too. I'm seeing this show is one of the most divisive shows I've seen in a while. It's given lots of people pause for thought in all kinds of ways. I think episode 1, 2, 3, 4 as a package makes up for a lot of the things I think that I agreed with a lot of people that were missing. Joel and Ellie was the big sticking point for me. I was like, you guys are fine, but the game is beating your ass right now. Now I feel like the game's still winning, but that the show is good, and I would probably the thing I see this as is that I can't tell my parents to go and fucking play Last of Us. They're like, "Where's the controller? How's this work?" But I can tell them to go watch this show, and that they would gain enough from this show.
I identify with your parents, by the
way. They would gain enough from the show that I could actually talk about the meaningful parts of The Last of Us, at least so far. Of course, I don't know how this is going to roll out. But a lot of worries have been assuaged, I think. For example, people like being like, "Oh shit, they're gonna drive Tess hardcore into the story." It's like, don't worry, she's dead.
That's a pleasant surprise to me. Okay, I like that they were more accurate with that.
A lot
but
of
like all roads lead to the 5-iron. Like
exactly.
Well, question then: Would you guys recommend people play The Last of Us, even though you know it leads to the 5-iron?
The first one, and leave it at that, because I think that the first one actually had a great story. Play the first one, leave it at that, let it in there. Then you're good.
Well, so, Melly, that's what I'm hoping for, is that this season ends. The last episode is what I'm worried about now. I'm not really worried about them adapting the cannibal stuff or Sam and Henry. I think they're going to pretty much do all of that fine, if not to be nailed. It's the ending. That's the part where I'm worried, because you know that they're going to want to set up season 2. You know they're going to tweak shit, and that's where I'm really going to be judgy. But I was actually quite impressed. I think the last time we talked about this, I was trying to point out things that I think they changed down to individual words that I think are better or worse. And a lot of the time, the game was winning out on these comparisons. But I actually think the show won out on when Ellie kills someone to protect Joel in the game. She's like, "Whoa, I killed him, huh?" And then Joel's like, "You fucking give me that gun, Jesus! Like, you're supposed to listen to me. You're supposed to hang back. You're not supposed to use the gun." She's like, "Gee, okay, fine, whatever." And then later on, he's like, "Okay, rifle time. I need you to protect me." And you gain a lot of like, "Oh, okay, so he's taking her seriously, and now she's protected." But in the show, something that I really respected that they did was that she kills the guy that's on Joel, and it's not easy. It's not clean. She shoots him in the spine, and so he's crying and begging for his mum while talking about how he can't move his legs. And she's like, obviously shaking, not doing well with it. And Joel is just like, "Go behind the wall now," and then gets a knife, and you just hear him screaming. And she's crying, and I was like, "This is what I needed."
Hey, that sounds cool, though. That actually does sound really good.
I will point out, she doesn't actually cry in that scene more. She just kind of looks down like she's disturbed by it.
No, she doesn't cry when she kills him. She cries just after, because that's That's
Well, no,
how
she
it works,
cries
right?
later. I think when Joel when Joel kind of presses her on it, because it's kind of like they're talking and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's trying to put on a brave face, like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just move on."
Wow, Drinker, you're wrong.
Well, I think you'll find that I'm in fact correct.
Do you want me to send you a fucking picture of it, Tia? I had to edit this, okay, so I know.
Yeah, just edit it to make sure.
CG tier.
That,
CG
yeah.
Tia.
And that's when she breaks down, though. The bit when she's hiding behind the wall, I thought she's just kind of like she can't bear to like look at it, and she's just disturbed by the whole thing. But I didn't see
Yeah, yeah.
tears there, and maybe it did happen. I missed it, but
Well, like I said, I had to I make the TV thing, so I have to go back and forth, copyright all this stuff. And part of what I liked about it was that the initial shot, she looks shocked, she doesn't know if she's done the right thing, all that stuff. But then once she's able to process it, go behind the wall, she starts crying, and then Joel's like, "Hey, we gotta go." She's like, "Yep, good to go." Like sort of, and I saw people sort of using this quote as a frustration. I haven't seen the after episode analysis from the creator of the show or anything, but people were like, "He's completely fucked up." Ellie as a character, because there's a quote where he says, similarly to Joel, you know, this stuff is clearly having an effect on it, but she doesn't want the outer world to see what that is and stuff. And they were like, "That's not a character." I was like, I don't know, that sounds about like her and Joel seem like they are both the kind of people that don't really want people to see them weak or vulnerable in any way.
Right. Yeah.
I think Game Ellie had a better balance of vulnerability and defiance and fieriness. I think this version that we got is a bit more stoic and a bit more in control of her emotions. She doesn't quite wear her heart on her sleeve as we did get in the game.
There's a clear downgrade Ellie as well as I think a downgrade Joel, but I do want to keep in mind those two are pretty damn good in the Last of Us game.
Oh,
so a downgrade from them doesn't mean we're in, horrible territory. It just means we're not as good.
Right.
And so a lot of people end up asking, like, so what's the point then? It's like, no, I understand. Like, if you can have both of them, go for the game.
Well, and Tess was way better in the game too, in my opinion, at least from the first episode. I mean, not that I don't think that the actress was bad. I think she did pretty good, but Tess was just awesome in the game.
She dies like the dumbest death in the show.
So does she actually like French kiss the baddie?
Like,
well, I mean,
picture the scene if you could, Melanie. Right, you've been bitten, and so you're infected. You've only got a matter of time before you go. So you send Joel and Ellie away, and you're going to sacrifice yourself to buy a bit of time for them to escape. So you find yourself in a room with drums full of gasoline and boxes of hand grenades. And so what you do is you spill the drums all over the floor, so there's gasoline everywhere. And you might be thinking those hand grenades might come in quite handy, for finishing the job, as it were. But instead, what she does is she gets a really old, unreliable lighter that doesn't work properly.
Like a Zippo. Yeah.
And she's getting French kissed by this infected that's like all the fungus is going into her mouth. And I don't even know why he's trying to do it, because he must... Like, she's already infected, so I thought they could sense that. And she's trying to light this lighter as she's getting kissed, and it doesn't work. And then on the last attempt, finally it goes, and then she drops it on the floor, and eventually outside you see a giant explosion. But do you have any idea how long it would take for those grenades to, like, cook off and finally blow up?
Yeah.
Because that's a long time to be on fire. Just... Oh.
No, yeah, I actually said that she should have taken 2 grenades, popped them both, and just put them next to his skull and just let it go.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah, that'd be a much better way to go than burning to death slowly while you're being...
Dude, yes, absolutely. Oh, if you get to live long enough to actually, you'd be staring at those grenades, screaming like, "I'm so fucking stupid. Why did I?"
Well, that sounds like a romantic story.
Like
was that more romantic than episode 3? No.
I still maintain as well. I don't love this new mechanism that they've got for the fungus, where it's like it comes out of their mouths. I kind of liked it when it was airborne and they had to wear like masks if they were going into like basements or like enclosed areas, in case the spores were in the air. I thought that was cool. It's more nerve-wracking because it's almost like, to take the showrunner as an example, Chernobyl, where like the radiation that's all around you can't necessarily see it, but it's slowly killing you if you're not protected from it. And I like that idea of like the hidden threat.
Like it's in the air. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the classic. I think it's different. I don't think either one's better or worse.
Oh,
I like
stop sitting on the fence more.
Okay.
Fucking chill.
Hey,
Okay.
I already said.
How
the
much
game's
did they
better.
pay you for this? I hope it was worth it.
All of it, all the money. They gave me a copy of
gift
Hogwarts
basket with a
Legacy
cup
too.
holder and a
Well,
Last
I
of Us
mean-
bag.
The first episode with the very opening of it and that interview made it sound like the only reason you could even get infected right now is because climate change. It's like
They
Oh,
were
it was about
clearly
the
alluding to
evolving
that.
fungus. Yeah.
that's what it sounded like they were alluding to. Okay.
It did, and like I really liked that opening to the first
Right.
episode. I thought it was
It
cool
was
until
cool.
they got to like, well, the ground temperature gets above 94 degrees. It's like that shit happens all the time. What are you talking about?
Well, I think
It's
they
called
said
climate
that,
change for a reason. It
Right.
changes a lot.
I think
We
they
had
were
an
saying
ice age.
that could be something that might make it evolve. But there would have to be a bunch of other stuff as well. He was only saying it was a potential, obviously, because nobody believed it would actually happen, and even in that universe, like
I was
it
just-
was
I
just an
was-
idea, right?
I was kind
In
of
the
taken back
70s.
by how old John Hannah looks now. I was like, oh
Yeah.
damn, like time's not been kind to you, sir.
Or maybe it
Hollywood.
has. How old is he?
Well, I remember seeing him in Spartacus, and that's only a few years ago, and he still looked.
Dude, Spartacus
Pretty young
was
in
a
that.
decade ago.
Oh no,
You're getting old, buddy.
I am getting.
I'm not the only one.
No.
One of us. One of us.
Yeah. No, I won't be open. I won't be able to open doors soon.
Dude, how good was Spartacus? I freaking love that show.
It was great.
That was amazing.
Loved it back in the day.
I will say though, with Spartacus, I have never seen a show that started so slow and so bad in the first few episodes, to then make such a complete 180
Shift in the gear.
recovery
Yeah,
in
it's
the
crazy.
middle
Yeah.
of season one, and the end of season one there. My God, like what a pulse pounding conclusion!
Mind blowing. Yeah. There's a lot of
Amazing
boobs.
series.
A lot
That
of
helps.
boobs in Spartacus.
And,
It was
uh,
great. They understood what their
And
audience
full
wanted.
frontal.
They
Let's
did.
not forget it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it was like
Well,
there'd be times when the gladiators are like hacking each other to pieces in the arena, and like some of the audience are just like fucking each other in the stands while it's going
Yeah.
on.
Why not?
Wow.
Those Romans knew how to
Sam
live.
Raimi, it's Sam Raimi produced in the aesthetic of 300, basically.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, the actor for season one, unfortunately, I'm forgetting the name, it sucked, but died of Hodgkin's after the first season, so they recast him. But it's still good. It's still good. I mean, you know, sad what happened to the actor.
And that's actually a great example of like turning lemons into lemonades, because the actor he unfortunately passed, but he was in recovery and in remission when they were supposed to film season 2, and that's when we got the prequel series, which, if anything, was one of the best seasons there ever was of the whole series, which then followed the most interesting characters that actually, spoilers, get killed off in the end of season 1, but then we get to see their story, which was honestly more fascinating than the Spartacus story.
Yeah. No, it was good stuff.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I
it's
liked that
amazing.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Not
it was Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, the good old days. But not to take us away from talking about the potential of boobies, I was just trying to say that with even in Last of Us Part 2, which by the way is like 99.9 terrible, but the idea that you're chasing someone you fucking hate, two humans, right? But you're both in a place where there's spores, and so you need to navigate it properly until and it actually kind of works in that as a payoff that Ellie is chasing her, so Ellie's immune, but she doesn't know that, the one you're chasing, and so she thinks you're both dead, and then Ellie's like, I'm fine, bitch. You're the one that's going to turn into a fucking zombie. You know,
Yeah.
that you can make stuff payoffs like that work, as well as like you're in the middle of something else, and then you're like, shit, this is a spore area. With like, I understand the drama that created from that; it can be really good. But of course, they've implemented this thing about proximity activation. Like you kill one clicker, and it can activate many more through like a fungal network. I think that could create some big old payoffs, some interesting things.
It's the sort of thing you're gonna have to stick to it though. That's a rule that you've established now, and it's like that could be.
Well, the thing is, the way they've established it, they get to manipulate it as much as they want. It's like it has to be like a zombie that dies on the floor that's covered in fungus and stuff. If you do that, so really they get to play with that almost as much as they want. I doubt they'll fuck it up, but they might. You know, keep an eye on
I
them. So that
didn't see the episode, but what about the soccer mom who wasn't wearing body armor controlling all the guys who were wearing body armor in the apocalypse?
I mean,
what about it?
Was it dumb? How does it make sense? Because that sounds really dumb.
well, I mean, 'cause they're not in a war
Was
zone.
she their mom? Because that would make sense.
I mean, the location where this is going on, they're not in the middle of a battle, so
Okay.
she doesn't necessarily need to be armored
So the
up or
apocalypse
Yeah,
is
so-
matriarchy. Okay.
it's kind of I think
makes
the
sense.
actress that they picked maybe wasn't the most commanding presence ever.
Yeah.
Well, the implication I got from it was that she's supposed to be super unexpected and disarming, but she'll kill you in an instant. She thinks you're like a piece of shit, right? Like the history we got, the brief history, I'm assuming we'll get more next episode, is that she led the rebel group against the Fedra agents. They killed a whole bunch of her people, including her brother. And they've since taken over the area from Fedra, and they're now executing people who gave information away that led to the death of the family and stuff. She must have come up with plans or united people, and that's currently why she's a leader. His second in command looks like he trusts her as much as he'll do anything she says, sort of thing. You get that every once in a while here and there. Could be someone that's related to it. I don't actually know. I haven't got much on her. She's in the episode for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of implies that she's very like tunnel vision, because there's Mo and I were talking about this before. We're not entirely sure what it means, but like there's like an underground basement where the floor is like caved in, and there's like shit moving underneath it, but you can't quite tell what it is. But like they both know there's something really serious that's going to happen soon.
It's a bloater. It's going to be a bloater.
Probably, yeah. But
And
she's so
not
focused
gonna,
on.
Yeah. She's gonna fuck up. Dude, I am expecting they have her die to the bloater. I wouldn't be surprised if, because she's told them not to focus on it and to focus on Henry, that's gonna completely backfire. She's gonna say something about vengeance, and then she's gonna get killed, and the point of the episode is gonna be like, don't narrow mind so hard that you get yourself killed or something, right? Like, probably, which is why, by the way, wait, that's out tomorrow, right? The next episode, because the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because Super
no.
Bowl, it's out tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Yep.
So it's moved forward, is it?
It has, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of stuff's gonna happen. I mean, this is the first episode that I've actually looked forward to now. I was kind of like meh on the show, but after episode 4, I was like, okay, I actually care, and I want to see what happens next. So I'm hoping that they can maintain that. That'd be nice.
I like this. It's like that bit in the floor. That's where Abby's being created. She's just gonna smash her way out, like. Ah!
Abby smash.
I saw people make the joke. It's like, because she kills a doctor, right? It was like, that doctor better not have a daughter called Abby. You better be fucking careful, mate.
She killed the doctor. Hope nobody gets sick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird
well,
choice on her
yeah.
part.
It's a bad move, I think, killing the doctor. But my guess is that she doesn't want to risk him sabotaging her.
Yeah, can't rat's a rat, whether it's a doctor or not.
He does
Okay.
pull the doctor card, and she's like, okay. She doesn't, and then she later decides, fuck it.
I sat down to watch it, Mahler. I did, and then my finger went towards watching House of the Dragon again. On
Dude,
the controller.
To be fair, right? If someone said, if you haven't seen anything
was
and
a
you're like, do you
total
recommend
mistake.
it? I wouldn't recommend the show yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
It's not even. It's not in the same as House of the Dragon was way better at this point. This show is not as good as that, but I need to see it to the end to know if it's even worth seeing.
I should have watched it. I'm watching it so I can discuss it with my friends. If I had a choice, I probably would just be out by now, to be honest with you. But like, as I've said many times, this is not my kind of story. I don't like post-apocalyptic zombie stories where everybody's just horrible to each other, and I'm rooting for the zombies by the end. I'm just like, eat everybody. I already went through this with Walking Dead. It's just not my thing. I like the fun zombie stuff.
Okay.
Like Zombieland and Return of the Living Dead, George Romero stuff. That that shit's fun. But this is just like more post-apocalyptic nihilism, blah.
Well, you're not wrong on that. I think The Last of Us, an IP, part of its point is that humanity is not. Bear with me on this. Humanity is not worth saving. Individuals are. Like, I think part of what people resonate with at the end is that Joel chooses Ellie over the world.
Yeah.
Because there's a
only
lot of
people
parents.
That
worth
part I
saving-
like.
Yeah, I did actually like that part.
That part's like, it's surrogate daughter, because I
Prepared to
would
have
choose
that-
my son over, no offense, chat, everybody in the world. So,
No offense.
no offense. No offense to everybody else in the world, but I'd choose my kid. So
Yeah,
Well, and
that
that's
was a
the-
nice view on like paternal love and stuff. But yeah, get ready to have that shit subverted at the end of this season.
Drink it the second the doctor turns up. I'm gonna be staring at the screen like, what are you gonna do? Where's the zebra? Where's the zebra? Come on. Where's the fucking zebra?
You're on your own, chat.
You're on your own.
Yeah, man, the scrutiny that final episode's going to be under is just going to be ridiculous. It's like use so much as Twitch, and we're done.
I'm not even kidding, man. They get one word wrong, the whole internet's gonna fucking hate them. And I just can't imagine it's gonna end well because they've got plans. They're obviously gonna try and adapt.
What if they
Second
just
season.
completely do away with Last of Us Part 2? Is that
Well, they've already
kernel of hope?
casted their Abby supposedly,
Oh,
so
really? Well,
yeah.
There's no way they would do that. Neil Druckmann's
Exactly.
involved in this
Yeah.
as a producer and a director, in fact. So he's never going to disown his greatest
No, and
creation.
the thing about it is there's so many writing issues with the opening of The Last of Us 2 in terms of nothing makes any fucking sense in order to kill Joel. It's not that difficult to kill someone in a post-apocalypse, even when they're talented, because you have so many hazards all over the place. But they made it so stupid. And if they adapt it directly, they're fucked. That's just the truth. Like, it's not just Joel dying. It's how not. We talked about this before. You can kill Joel in a way that fans wouldn't hate. It's possible, okay? It's just that you got to be so fucking careful. I remember us covering a guy on EFAP who was like, "Who cares? Nobody likes Joel. Like, he's not beloved." It's like, you might want to.
I even know that. I knew who Joel was. Like, I knew his name, and I didn't play the damn game.
Well, you
but
check
it was
top
just...
10 lists of like characters in that, just famous video game characters. Joel scores high. People really like Joel. He's a fucking. Well, he's a bit of a legend in the first game.
Well,
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the company that created the game was trying to actively ruin YouTubers, like destroy their channels, to keep the spoiler out that they were lying to the audience. By the way, Ryan's brought this up, that they aged up Joel to make it look like he's going to be in more of the game when he wasn't. By the way, you can't do that anymore. That's now against the law in a trailer. There has to be a certain amount of honesty in your trailer. You can't have characters that don't show up. So that's now against the law. But that's what they did. They lied and they got caught in the lie. So instead of just going, yeah, that kind of happens, you still don't know what happens in the rest of the game. They tried to silence a bunch of YouTubers through a third-party company. Let's not forget that, including some of my friends, some of our friends, as Ryan, Jeremy.
Yeah. Which is why I don't blame them for having strong feelings about this. I understand completely.
But you know, like if the show's like it's well put together, it is like shot really well. And, like the cinematography's good and the acting's fine. I mean, I don't think it's extraordinary, but
honestly, dude, if I was to give one episode away for acting, it would be 4. So
is Ellie finally good? Because she is not impressive.
It's the only episode I would use to defend her as an actress.
Okay.
The other 3 I wouldn't.
Okay.
Would you though?
Yeah, I don't
wouldn't.
think she's. Well, we put a number on her. How good is she as an actress after episode 4, or in episode 4, should I say?
I would give her probably a 4 out of 10.
I'd probably give her a 6.
Right.
So yeah,
that's still like, even like taking the most optimistic view, it's still not great. Like,
well,
the scene where
no, you're
I'll
right.
tell you where she fell down for me. Right, the scene where Joel confronts her about how she was dealing with the killing thing, and that was a scene where she really needed to emote, and what she actually did was kind of dropped her head down a little bit, and her face was in shadow, and she kind of covered her, like the lower part of her face. And it was like masking the fact that she couldn't cry, I think.
It was trying to make it. What do you mean?
It was like, I'm gonna contort my face to try and make it look like I am, but I'm clearly not. And it's like they're trying to make it seem like there's more going on there.
Of her tears, okay?
There's CGI tears, Mahler. I don't believe you.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I heard? Totally off subject. Kurt Metzger. I haven't seen it, so you know that You People movie on Netflix. Kurt Metzger messaged me. He's like, "I'm dying, dude." So apparently, the interracial kiss at the end is CG.
What?
It's a CG kiss. He's all, haha, they CG'd the big interracial kiss at the end of You People. I'm dying, dude. Which is supposed to be the whole point of the movie. Is that true? If that is true, that is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. So if you don't know what You People's Eddie Murphy Netflix movie with a black Muslim family and a Jewish family, and the son is dating the daughter, and there's a marriage, and it's supposed to be, you know, kind of a weird guess who's coming to dinner, whatever kind of thing. And yeah, they CG'd the kiss at the end. Oh God. I hope that between Jonah Hill and it's what's her name? Lauren London. I don't know if that's I think that's hilarious. Like they they couldn't kiss in real life.
Why couldn't they do it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true. Like when he told me that, I'm like, that cannot be true. No.
How do you CG a kiss? Do your faces get this close and then you just you just move
maybe
your
you
head?
kiss a green like a guy in a green sock or a girl in a green sock?
They get like close enough and then they just slide together like
I don't know.
PNG
Like
pictures.
again, I don't know if like he shot me that message. I'm like, oh, if that is true.
I'm not
Oh my
familiar
God.
with these actors. It's like does one of them have like religious conviction or something like that? That would preclude it?
Maybe
Well,
it's
they've
a COVID
suggested-
thing.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
suggested maybe it was filmed during COVID and like they couldn't for that reason. Maybe.
Still the whole point.
Yeah.
Well, I think didn't I don't know if this is even true, but I thought at least I heard that The Rock doesn't actually kiss other actresses because you know, him and his wife, they don't want him doing that or whatever. But they use like body doubles. I feel like a body double would be easier than CGing a kiss.
I mean, good luck finding a body double for The Rock as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a
he's not
pretty
like-
good one though, from what I've seen. I remember seeing pictures of people with their doubles. He does have a pretty good
because
double.
he's gay.
Yeah, but Melanie, you know,
That's what the chat
was
said.
actually, that was actually done in Thor: The Dark World towards the very end there,
Mhm.
when Thor reunites with Natalie Portman's
Yeah.
character.
Oh yeah.
She got a body double for the kiss scene there towards the end. Hemsworth's
okay.
wife.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's
Yeah,
cool.
wig.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that's what The Rock did too. I thought his wife was or either the wife was a double or he had a double who kissed the actors. I don't know.
What a weird thing. It's like they must recognize like it's a job. You know, just because you're kissing someone on
Yeah.
screen, it doesn't mean you're cheating. It's because you're professionally required to do it. Damn, man. It's like, well, I mean, kisses and stuff, they happen so rarely now on screen anyway. Like, even the barest hint of sexual attraction is, like, practically no-no now.
I know, and like
So,
when they're not
surprised.
filming, they'll kiss anything. Screw anything.
Exactly.
It's like what the hell? Sorry. Back to Last of Us. Last of Us, great, cool.
Yeah,
show.
we
Hey,
were
nobody's
just-
saying it's great.
We're just talking about how the actress that plays Ellie can't act.
Yeah,
wait.
she was
And
very
it's like-
do you think she earned her role, or do you think she
They
got
said
it 'cause she
there
was
was
Game
like
of Thrones girl?
100 people who, 100 girls who auditioned for that, and she won. It's like, did they say the worst one? Let's pick her.
The one that just
Right.
happened to be in Game of Thrones. That was the fan favorite for like one episode. It went way
Yeah.
too long and got stupid towards the end. But
There we go. Apparently,
Oh, a tear.
I don't see a tear, dude.
That's my
Motherfucker,
SCG
that is
team.
all I said she did. I don't know whose arguments you guys fighting. Someone in chat was like, "A tear is not crying." It's like, call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
The thing is, right, you know, everyone knows you get like that glycerin
the
stuff that like goes under the eye and stuff to make eyes water. So I don't buy that shit.
There's a CGI
Any
tear
actor-
in my CGI beer.
Okay, well, it's not the water that's there that's impressive. It's the fact that I believe she forced it out as an actress, and the face matches it. That's what
She
I'm
was
talking
either
about.
chopping onions or crying. One of the two in the apocalypse. Okay.
But yeah, to be honest with you as well, like as long as the facial expression is on point, I don't really mind if it's custom water or human water. It's really fine with me.
Human water.
Human water.
Your eyes are leaking human water again, I
Yeah,
see.
you're sounding like the eldritch god that you are. Human water.
I don't know what else you guys call it. It gets confusing, you know.
I've been told that you humans excrete water from various orifices.
But yeah, I was getting a little tired of the sort of smug and like impossible to penetrate sort of personality she had. So I was happy to see her be, first of all, do everything Joel says in that episode. That was a refreshing, especially when the chips are down, so to speak. When everything's dangerous, she just shuts the fuck up and does everything he says, which is the kind of shit I want to see. And then, of course, looks to him for like, what am I supposed to do with all this? And he's just like, give me a gun. I got the knife. You go over there. I will sort this out, and then we'll talk about what's happened, sort of stuff. It's like a lot of people were saying like he was kind of been a little bit dragged around by either Tess or her. I thought this episode finally made it clear like he is in charge.
Okay,
You let him fuck around a bit, like tell the jokes
for
and
like
stuff.
6 more episodes before he gets a 5-iron between his ears.
Hey man, enjoy the episodes. This is what I mean. I would say the same for the games.
Right.
Enjoy the first one, you know, while you can.
Yeah, at least in like there, you could just play the first one and not play the second one. That's...
The one thing I'll never understand with this though is like why Joel keeps leaving behind weapons that are far superior to what he's got. Like I don't know if they're just trying to mirror the setup of the game here, but like there's a point, like especially in episode 3, he's got an entire wall of guns, like with all the ammunition that you could ever need, and he chooses like a bolt action hunting rifle. Like now I'm no expert, right? But if I had to choose a gun that's going to be able to take on fast moving enemies like the infected or other humans with guns who might be running back and forth between cover, it would not be a hunting rifle like that. That would be the worst possible thing you could have.
In the comment section for our coverage of it, loads of people were fighting back and forth on that. Apparently, bolt actions are more reliable. They last longer over time. You can actually refill the bullets, like the shell casings or whatever. It's much more difficult with more regular guns. Apparently, the accuracy and the range are pretty strong with it. The semi-automatic sort of stuff is good for repeat shots, obviously, and crowd control, I guess. But I genuinely have no idea what the answer is. Rags, our resident gun expert, said he would not have chosen the bolt action. So
Okay.
and it's fair as well to say that like surely they need lines addressing this, like him being like, "Oh, I've chosen this because you know I fucking," as opposed to we only see the bolt action from a fucking room with like an army of guns. I don't see. Because I saw the argument like, oh, well, he's not going to want to take more than he can carry because they're not going to be able to use the car forever. It's going to get booted out at some point. It's like, yeah, but still, more than just a bolt action, right?
More is always enough in the apocalypse. And
You're
going to
worry
about not having more later.
Yeah,
I
stock
think,
up,
like,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, yeah, just the appearance of a military-grade assault rifle is going to be enough to deter a lot of people from even taking you on. It's like, yeah, this guy's heavily armed. I'm not going to mess with him. Whereas... yeah, like a bolt-action rifle. Okay, you take your shot to hit a guy who's running between cover. You miss. Okay, it's going to take you a good several seconds to just reload the thing. You know, during which he can just fire back at you and take you out. Like, that just seems like a really bad weapon for that kind of situation.
Yeah, and I think that we're owed as the audience like a line of him saying, "I'm the most familiar with this gun," or "I find bolt actions to be super reliable." You know, like something. Just let us know why he's picked that one because I have no fucking clue. And a lot of people have to just speculate, sort of thing. And then, of course, like, have you taken anything else? Got some pistols? Got maybe a shotgun? Especially for the infected. Like, I don't know. Just fuck them up, right? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, I agree with that.
But, well, hey-ho. We do have a bunch of super chats. If you got a bit of time, we can answer some.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, super chats. Let's do some. Jade Light says, we need a middle ground when calling stuff woke, and you do it best, Drinker, not pretending that it doesn't exist, but also not writing off absolutely everything. Well, okay, thank you. I mean, I guess that's what we're kind of discussing here when it comes to things like Last of Us. You know, I don't want to just write a show off because it's got some stuff in it.
Yeah, that's how I feel with Hogwarts Legacy as well, because Hogwarts Legacy does have like a transgender character and a lesbian character, and so some people are just like, "Why are you still supporting this game? It's woke. It's woke." I'm like, it's pick your battles sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Good God, I know
this
what
is
you
it.
mean, Melody. Holy fuck. Pick your battles indeed.
Yeah,
My
it's not a
goodness.
matter of the characters. It's how they're portrayed.
Exactly, and the
that's
thing
what
is,
woke is.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the subtext.
And I think if Hogwarts had like all of these pride flags, all these trans flags everywhere, all that kind of stuff, that would come off as a lot more obnoxious. But in this case, with the transgender character, they didn't make her like flamboyant, over the top, or they just treated it like you would treat a normal character in the game. You probably wouldn't even completely notice unless you were paying attention to the voice being a bit deep. So yeah, it's not egregious.
See, it's almost like, yeah, you know, when it's well integrated into a good story, we totally support it because it's like
Yeah.
well done. But
Yeah.
when it's just there to prove a point and it's like bludgeoning you over the head, that's when we have a problem with it. You know,
Exactly.
that's what
Yep.
normal people tend to think like.
There's a
GS
transgender character in a Song of Ice and Fire and Dance with Dragons. It's great. It's a master of whispers. It's a great character.
JS Pena says Hogwarts has its victory for now, but an invasion is coming and it's going to be crazy. And in space, no one can hear you eat ice cream. Hype for Killer Clowns, the game. Okay.
Is that the sequel to Hogwarts Legacy?
I guess it is.
Juxenhausen says, Happy V-Day drinker, get naughty with Tatiana. What's V-Day? V-Day?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
That's like 5 days away, isn't it?
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I'll do it early, I suppose. Thanks. Dark Hour says, my channel,
Victory
Let's
Day?
Talk... Yeah, I guess. Even that. Not sure. Dark Hour says, my channel, Let's Talk Content, got its first Patreon sub, so I feel that it's right that I send some to the guy who gave me a shot on this on his channel. Hail to the drinker. Thank you, man, and it was great to have you on for that. Happy hour. The next one's a three-parter. So it's from RRTNZ. Says, Hail Drinker, that sounds like a good reason to celebrate with Cobra Kai Happy Hour with Chuxenhausen and Dark Hour, but the world has been pretty grim of late and needs the laughter and drinker review stream on Dodgeball. Would bring it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Why not also do a Father Ted stream or a cup of tea? Go on before Bishop Brennan arrives for a kick up the arse. So, for anyone who's American, they're totally not going to get what the hell I'm just said there. But
I got Dodgeball.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of Father Ted. I love that series.
Father Ted is a really good sitcom.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's I do recommend it very much. David Glenn says, thinking about immigrating to the land of my ancestors, are there any good council houses in Glasgow that you would recommend to an American pensioner? Nope. Nowhere. I cannot imagine how an American would take to living in a council house in Glasgow. It just boggles the mind. Yeah, for you guys, it would be like housing projects, I guess.
Oh, okay.
That's our version of that. And
Yeah.
For the most part,
I got a
they're
couple
not
friends
really
who
the
are
kind of
council house kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really the kind of place you dream of living, if you know what I mean. Especially in Glasgow, damn. Wayland Bucephus says, for Gary, Dark Knight Returns or Batman Year One?
Oh, God, that's not fair. One's the starting and one's the ending. Dark Knight Returns. I love Year One. Mazzucchelli's art is freaking beautiful, but Dark Knight Returns had such an impact on me when I was a youngster, when I was reading that.
Fair play, man. Also from the same guy says, which should I fix first, my AIDS or my cancer? That's a tricky one. Depends how advanced they both are, you know.
One is one is treatable and one is not.
Well, in an ideal world, I guess, if you said you could fix both and you had both,
like you could
which
beat
one would you
cancer,
try and-
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can beat them
Also,
both,
one
actually. It
causes
depends on...
the other.
Well, both treatments are excruciating. So one's a cocktail of drugs that basically keeps you alive, but you're still it's gonna be like having hepatitis B. You're not gonna live past 60. And the other one radiates the hell out of you. So I wouldn't cancer. I wouldn't wish cancer on any. Oh my God. I watched my dad die of that stuff. It's
Our
terrible.
current cure for cancer is what? Where they try and kill you, and hopefully the cancer dies first, and they stop trying to kill you.
That's it.
What if you give AIDS to the cancer?
That would be wonderful if you were able to do that.
There should be a movie where they fight.
Plan. They fight.
Let them
AIDS
fight.
versus cancer.
Unfortunately, the thing is that AIDS actually causes, or indirectly, I was not going to say it causes, but you'll be far more susceptible to a bunch of cancers with AIDS.
Yep. We've had more than a couple of friends die who were living a long time with AIDS, but then they just died in their 50s and 60s.
Damn.
Yep.
Stephen Bobo says, question for the whole panel. In your video games, do you prefer an open level level up ability system that lets you choose what type of skills that you want, or a more linear, structured, job specific kind of system?
I mean, as with all of these, just I want it to be well made, well balanced. It's less to do with like a preference. In the same way, there's like, do you prefer open world or linear games? It's like, well,
Yeah.
depends on how well executed those are.
I think it depends on the game too, and it depends on the type of game. Because something like Elden Ring, for example, you want to be able to really customize your character a lot. You really want to fine tune their abilities and everything exactly how you want to play. But then if you're playing something more like Tomb Raider, I don't want to be bogged down with a big skill tree and all this stuff with Tomb Raider. I just want to do flips and shoot T-Rexes and solve puzzles. So I think it really depends on the game.
Yeah, I think Tomb Raider is a great example of that, because that kind of customization is happening now, isn't it? But like most of the skills that you get like further down the tree are completely useless.
Yep.
It's like stuff that you would never ever need.
I feel like it's not necessary at all. You don't need a skill tree for Tomb Raider at all, in my opinion. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, generally, I do like the idea of being able to customize the character to your playing style.
Yeah.
You know, if it's just a general action adventure type game, it's like, well, you know, some people like to snipe, some people are brawlers, some people like to run and gun. There's always going to be a bit of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
As a retro gamer, I like it linear.
Fair enough. Andrew McCarthy says, about to watch Superman 78, the extended cut at 3 hours.
Yes, the television cut. That's a good one. That's brilliant. It's the best Superman movie ever made.
Grey Jedi Outcast says, Drinker, have you seen the movie Titan AE? If not, give it a watch sometime. It's an animated sci-fi adventure that's criminally underrated. I have seen Titan After Earth, actually, and it's, I liked it. I like the characters. I like the setting. The animation is beautiful. So, good film overall. JK Fozel says, hail all. Drinker, how much toilet duck do you have to chug to get you to play Zelda? Which one? Like, I don't know, Breath of the
there's
Wild?
like 11 of them or something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Zelda games. I've got nothing against them. I guess it's just never been my thing. Never really been a Zelda guy. What can I say? So yeah, I'd have to drink quite a bit of toilet duck, actually. Juan Garcia says, Gary, I don't understand Superman 2, the Donner cut, with his powers being drained and him spinning the world backwards.
That's, well, I mean, it's kind of a throwback to like silly comics, but it was the 70s. It was a really weird decade. I have no explanation. I still like it. Losing his powers, giving him up. Yeah. I love the Donner cut though. I think Superman 2, the Donner cut, if it had come out, Superman 3 would have been better. Everything would have been better. But like, I mean, in the Lester, he's whipping his S off and throwing it around and like got the little, like they made shit up for that movie. Okay. But keep in mind, Mario Puzo did write that. It's fucking awesome.
Imagine you got like that success, and then the Tim Burton Batman, they joined the universes, and then they got themselves like an early MCU.
That was going to happen. That
They
was going to
could have
happen
done
in the 90s.
They
Been
could have done
crazy.
it at any time. Yes, they were gonna. Michael Keaton was supposed to cameo in the Superman movie that they didn't do. So yeah, Warner Brothers could have done it at any time because they own DC. They were just dumb. They've always been dumb. They've never known what to do with Looney Tunes post Mel Blanc. They've never known what to do with DC characters. And when they do something right, it's purely, well, let's get this Nolan guy to do a Batman. Kind of leave him alone. He'll make a couple of good, really freaking good Batman movies. And then let's get this Harry Potter thing. That might work out for us. And, it did. And then, Warner Brothers was the king of the studios 15 years ago, 12 years ago. They were it. They were number one. They were more in Disney. They were crushing everybody. And now Disney's the king, but they're on the way down. It's just, comes and goes. Hollywood's pretty stupid for the most part.
They certainly are.
Yeah, they have a lot of money and they're fucking dumb.
Juan Garcias also asks you, what's your thoughts on Batman the Animated
Matrix
Series,
too, yeah.
Mask of Phantasm?
Mask of Phantasm? Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
Famous one, right?
That's the animated movie from Batman. It's freaking
That's the one,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the best Batman movie.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
The best Batman movie.
It is the
We never
best
got.
Batman
That's what
movie.
I've heard.
You heard me.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Elena Pineda says, Melanie, what's your thoughts on Wonderbat in JL 2001?
Wonderbat? Are you talking about Justice League 2001? I wouldn't
so.
be able to tell you. I haven't. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Senji Vinsmoke says, thoughts on Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin?
Batman Returns, best out of the lot.
I
I
agree.
agree. Completely.
Which one was the one that had Penguin in it? Is that on
Batman
there?
Returns. Batman
That
Returns.
was my favorite. I
Yeah.
loved that one so much. Okay.
Burton went dark with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Rightly so, though, I suppose. What's your thoughts on 89?
Overrated.
Some of the worst editing I've ever seen in a film. But I mean, like, I love it, okay? But it's really choppy editing. And it reminds me of Dr. No. You ever seen, we've all seen Dr. No.
Yeah.
It's a great Bond film. Some of the worst editing you've ever seen. But yeah, Burton, I think, wasn't a very experienced filmmaker. So as an editor, there was no fluidity from scene to scene. It was like, chunk, now this thing happens. Chunk, like Batman doesn't fight anybody. Like there's one little fight scene, at the end. It's kind of I love it. I love the production design. Gotham's a character, which it should be, but Batman Returns, like Burton had figured it out by then. It's just a cleaner, sleeker movie.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer as Batwoman as
Yep.
well. It's not
Batwoman.
sorry. Catwoman.
She's the best
Buzzer!
cat-
No,
No,
the
that could have been
best
Catwoman.
Catwoman
Get him!
ever.
Catwoman.
I don't think there will ever be a Catwoman who can do better than she did.
Was there
She
not
was
that behind
perfect.
the scenes footage as well, where she's like whipping the candles,
Yeah.
and she just nails each one of them perfectly.
Candles. You mix it up with Mask of Zorro. It's
Yeah.
she's hitting mannequins. But yeah,
Mannequins,
it's,
sorry, yeah.
it is awesome. And yeah, I got to imagine that when they hired her for the role, they weren't expecting her to put that much fucking effort into it. She really, if you watch that movie, she's gunning for it. She's like, I'm going to give you a Catwoman, right? And it's a very Tim Burton Catwoman. She's a psychopath. Her mind is falling apart, but she's desperately trying to figure herself out, which is what that film's all about, right?
Yep.
All the characters are struggling with that.
Yeah.
Duality, man.
Oh, I fucking loved it, especially the relationship between Catwoman and Batman in that is
Mhm.
top notch. Also, Christopher Walken is the most normal person in the movie,
Yeah.
which is
That's a rare
insane.
thing.
He plays it great. He keeps like every time something insane happens, he's just like, yeah, okay, well, how do I benefit from this? Let me
He
figure it out.
steals the show. Like this movie was sold on Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer are the villains, and then here comes Christopher Walken, just freaking owns the scenes. It's great.
I love the bit at the end where Keaton takes off his mask and he's like, Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed like Batman? It's like, because he is Batman, you moron. And he's just like, shoots him.
Well,
Yep.
pretty
his mask
cool.
gets all fucked up, right? So he's in this like penguin cave with all this insane nonsense happening. The bombs, the armies, the babies getting killed. Bruce Wayne, Batman, and he just goes, Selena Kyle, you're fired. I recommend Batman Returns, everybody, though I think all of chat probably saw it already, but hey.
I would imagine. So I take it we don't have much to say about Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Oh, I love it. I love that movie, but for
The
very
most-
different reasons.
I don't understand the studio having had Tim Burton make a huge success out of Batman with these two movies, saying, right, what can we do now? Let's go super campy and ridiculous, just like the 1960s Adam West show.
I can explain
Why?
that actually.
Yeah, it's a bad
Yeah.
explanation, but you're right.
That's all about them basically taking on influence reassignment because Batman Returns did really well at the box office. Did not do so well on the back end in terms of advertising revenue, as in they didn't get so many kickbacks from toy manufacturers and stuff like that. That is what they changed
Right.
for Batman Forever. Then they had like these agreements with all third-party licensees and toy manufacturers that were involved with the making of the movie. They wanted these and these designs. So Batman Forever, and especially Batman and Robins, they were really elaborate toy commercials because the toy companies, they were there. And those movies, they were so, at least Batman Forever was so profitable for Warner, because not only did they get the box office, but they also got so much money from the licensees just for the whole campy tone and everything. So it was purely for the money.
Yep.
For the
Got to make
toy
McDonald's
commercials.
happy and the toy companies happy.
Yeah,
That's why they did it.
All there was to it.
And it was such a
And that's-
downgrade in a Batmobile too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, audiences loved it up. And so they doubled down, and that's how
Yep.
you got Batman and Robin.
It's
No,
so
but
bad. Like Joel Schumacher, like, is a good director. He just, his approach to it, and he had later, to his credit, before he passed away, admitted, like, I made it too gay. He's like, you know, I should have, like, this is the guy who did, like, if he would have directed it like Lost Boys, that would have been cool. That would have been totally cool.
I mean, when you look at the cast that was in it, you know, you had George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Uma Thurman.
But everybody went
damn.
camp. And if you watch an interview with Michelle Pfeiffer, that's exactly what she didn't do. She's all, no, I'm playing this character straight. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm approaching this like an actress, not some kiddie movie. But that's what they approached it like. Yeah, like Arnold Schwarzenegger could have been a great Mr. Freeze if he'd have played it like Arnold
Hey,
and not
look.
like clown Arnold.
The Chad move is for Matt Reeves to hire him again as Mr. Freeze in the Batman.
That would it would be, and then he could say, "To hell with your freedom."
You could
Yeah.
put that in. You could make that a thing.
He'd totally do that because, yeah, I mean, basically,
He's
the
Chris
Batman
Pratt's
was-
father-in-law.
Yeah.
My assumption
He is,
is that if they have a Mr. Freeze type situation in the Batman world, it would be it wouldn't be a guy with like icy powers or whatever. He's going to be wearing a blue suit, and he's going to be cold, all right, and stern.
I think like Matt Reeves Batman, like he gets a second one to placate him, and it's done. I think.
I
It's
hope
done.
so. I don't get why he gets that even. I mean, it's just
Is Matt
destructive
Reeves?
for the
Yeah, is his Batman just the most boring Batman that
It's
there's
pretty
been?
boring.
Oh shit! Shade getting thrown.
It is. I mean, like,
well, I don't
stack
mean
it up
in-
with everything else. Okay, chat. Like, would you rather watch a Nolan Batman or Matt Reeves Batman? Even the worst Nolan Batman.
Can it compare to George Clooney punching a thug and saying good night?
Would you rather watch the Batman or Dark Knight Rises?
Oh
That's
God!
the
Why would you?
question.
No, I would rather.
I'd rather watch the
fucking hate
Batman.
Dark Knight
The
Rises.
Batman. I picked the Batman.
Well, look for the subtext in that movie and then watch it again, because that
Well-
movie is the most insidious woke movie I have ever seen.
The
I
Batman.
absolutely hate that movie for its message. The Batman. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is very woke.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only is it woke, but the whole message about the movie. It's like
Yep.
basically the Great Reset. The movie.
Yeah, you're right.
The-
I
the-
did like it, but you're right. It's very woke.
The
Yeah.
incel ending with the Riddler was just stupid. And,
I mean,
so
it had the
basic
worst
bitch.
She-Hulk
Yeah.
with like basically the
And they had
fans are
just
the
did it
enemy.
in The Boys. We clowned the shit out of it when they did it in The Boys season 2.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing. I mean, there wasn't memes, but there was chat. And yeah, it was so fucking on the nose.
And you even had like the whole city had to be cleansed away so
Yeah.
they could reset it and start over, because it was just so much corruption because of the white supremacy that even Bruce Wayne was.
Well, that was the villain that did it.
Because that
system of-
clearly they all played Hogwarts Legacy.
That was the bad guy though.
Well,
We
not
didn't-
the baddies that played
I mean,
Hogwarts Legacy.
And the thing, well, I guess you could make the same argument about Joker though as well. Like the you know, the uprising of like the oppressed people of Gotham against like the rich, you know,
Good.
people the
Not
overlords that
nearly the
exploit
same
them.
way. I would not say that you can make that argument in the same way. No, I mean, of course, there's things that you can read out of the Joker as well, but not the same kind of woke messaging as you had in
Right.
the Batman. The Batman, that was very much so a political
It was
new world order,
anti-incel. It's what they
world
thought the
economic
Joker
sort of
was
thing.
going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It-
So
yeah,
like
it
the
was.
Riddler was what all the critics of the Joker before it came out thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it turned out not being that case.
Was it not a bit of a nightmare to get made though? There was a lot of problems behind the scenes. Like Pattinson was kind of a pain in the arse to work with, and
Yeah, I don't know how many of those rumors were actually true or not, but apparently, I don't know. Some people were
bigger
saying like
issue-
Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz were caught doing the deed on the Batmobile. I don't know how true.
that
I was
real?
hoping that was true. I was like, good.
that's a Trevor Chad
Unfortunately,
move,
it
that.
wasn't. Unfortunately, I mean, that
Damn
was
it.
I know.
the best part of the whole movie was like the rumor of
I was like, all
Batman
right.
nailing or Catwoman. I did it too on the hood of the Batmobile, but yeah, sadly, no, that never happened.
No.
The biggest problem, the worst thing,
He
with
probably
that
stole her
movie
skirt.
was
That's probably the
was
worst
it
thing
was
that
a
happened.
victim of all the lockdowns.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was shut down 3 times over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
that's.
So
I suppose
that
that's
was the
outside
issue with it.
everyone's control. Then that's just how
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was more problems amongst the cast and crew and stuff, but maybe not.
Okay.
And then I did also hear from some sources very close to the production that there absolutely were issues with Pattinson, or more specifically, between Reeves and Pattinson. The two of
Right.
them did not get along because Pattinson was not Matt Reeves' pick for Batman. He was the studio choice,
Oh,
but
really?
he wasn't Matt Reeves' choice. Matt Reeves
Right.
wanted that other dude, but the studio, they got in Pattinson there. So the two of them got off like a wrong foot to begin with, and then you had Pattinson being Pattinson, going all weirdo actor on him. And
Right.
yeah, so he was a pain to work with. So those rumors, they came there for a reason. And then the movie, it came out and it did okay enough to kill the Snyderverse. So yeah, and led directly to what we have right now.
Which is a sequel in 2 years. But before that, we'll get another Batman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's going to be Batman related movies everywhere. We got a Joker sequel.
We've got
Yeah.
the Flash movie, which is going to have like 5 Batman.
Yeah. 3 that we know of. 3 Batman
Gary,
that we know of. Yeah.
I think with both Joker and the Batman, they're both in the studio, sort of like proud of themselves. Like, hey, we got something people like, and it makes money. And I think that James Gunn's probably like, do it again, just do it again. And
Yep.
with the suspicious eyes, like, can you do it again? Do
Yep.
it again. They're like, okay, geez. Like, and if they don't do it again, boom, they're out. And that's the thing. Batman probably, it can't just make 700 million. It's got to make more than that, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
studio expectation for the Batman was 1 billion,
Yep.
as it always is. They
Wow.
wanted 1 billion.
Considering how much people were talking about it, I honestly thought it had made more than it did.
How much
You
did
know
it
what I mean?
make?
Like just in terms of the impact, like it was like 730 million.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Not-
Yeah,
not
around
great.
800,
Okay.
thereabout, plus minus.
Right around what Thor Ragnarok did.
Yeah, which
Little more.
basically was enough that the studio could see that, okay, we can move on from the Snyderverse. People aren't too beholden to that. They'll accept a reboot, but they're not really embracing this reboot.
No. I don't know if you've all noticed, but nobody's talking about the James Gunn reboot anymore. And it just happened like a few days ago. And it just died.
Yeah.
I think it's too little too late.
And
And yeah.
too unexciting.
Really unexciting. Really underwhelming.
I wonder how much of it will actually happen at this point. Then.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, that's a very good question. I think half of it happens, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely get Batman and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really insane to put together a family before you establish your Trinity, And my question with Gunn has always been the same. I don't think he can do traditional heroes. Prove me wrong, but I don't think he can do something like Superman. I think he's
That
tailor
has me
made.
worried too.
Yeah.
I mean, we all saw not Super, but like the one with the evil Superman. What was that again? What's the title?
Brightburn.
Brightburn, yeah.
Right
I
up
mean,
his
that's
alley.
the closest you're gonna get to him doing a real Superman. I mean, I love his Peacemaker, love all his quirky stuff. Him doing Superman. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that.
And who's he going to get to do Batman? Brave and the Bold. That's kind of a
And
big
why
deal
the hell
too.
would he do Brave and the Bold? I mean, who wants to see Wesley Crusher, the Batman version of him? Because that's what I consider that Joker
Damian?
or that
Damian Wayne. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not my favorite Robin.
I mean, that's basically the Batman equivalent of Crusher, Wesley Crusher. You ask me.
Yeah.
I'm watching Star Trek Next Generation right now, season 1.
Yeah, it's just on your brain.
I hate Wesley so much. Oh my god, I want him to die.
Is it? Yeah. Is it tainted by the fact that Will Wheaton's an insufferable prick in real life?
Yeah, I didn't like him before anyway, but yeah, it doesn't help at all that he is an insufferable little shill.
Yeah. The next one is from Mitch, who says, "The closer I get to finishing my novel, the more daunting it seems. Do you need to send it to agents first and then it gets pro-edited, or do you need to hire an editor first to make sure that it's perfect?" Good question. So you finish it, make sure it's as good as you can possibly make it, and then you send it to agents, and they'll help you to polish it up and give you some little tips and stuff before they then send it out to publishers. And they'll then have a professional editor, if one of them decides to sign you up, who will then get to work on it properly. So there's quite a lot of editing in your future, sir, if you're going to be successful, but that's the way it works. Yeah. Sean Spencer says, "Hail to all. Rank the Batman movies." I don't think we can. I don't think we need to do the lowest tiers of them, but if we just maybe do like our top 2 or 3, I suppose that's probably easiest.
So of all Batman films, including animated?
Yep. Why not? No.
Yeah, sure.
Live action.
Yeah.
Live action to make it simple, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Well, okay. So, wait. So, favorite or best?
Well, favorite, I suppose.
Well, you get to choose 2. So your favorite and which you think is best.
Oof. So, I mean, I guess I'll set the tone. All right, I'll go first. I love my Batman movies. A lot of them, man. So much fun. A lot of them. But recently, I mentioned I rewatched Batman Returns, and it just dawned on me. I was like, "Fuck, is this my favorite Batman movie?" I think it is. Like, because I really like. Because you're all. I know what you're all thinking about this. It's like, shouldn't it be? And it's like, yeah, I know, but I don't know. It's about Returns. I almost want to make a video on it someday to explain myself, because I think it's pretty damn great. As someone who's not even that familiar with the comics, just love the performances. I love the writing and the vibe. And as Gary mentioned, Gotham is bitching in that film. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Returns.
Fair play.
I'm gonna be pretty basic and say The Dark Knight was my fave.
Yeah, Dark Knight, followed by Batman Returns.
As for me, I'm going to go unconventional here. Batman Begins and Batman 1966.
All right.
Some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
Exactly.
Yeah. I might go for Batman 89. And I really like Jack Nicholson's Joker. I love it really feels like when you see scenes of
Dark
Gotham.
Knight sucks balls. What? Come on.
Come on, everyone.
Come
No,
on. Get outta
come on
here.
now.
You might not like it. You can't say it sucks balls.
Yeah.
You can say it's not your favorite.
The Nolan films are so weird because they're so grounded that it's like they're not even really Batman movies anymore.
Well, there has not been a Batman movie from the comic books. If you're talking about Batman from the comic books and live action, that has not happened yet. Not even close. Not even freaking close. There are good Batman movies. They are nothing like the comic book. Ben Affleck is the closest Batman to look like Batman from the comics and act like Batman from the comics and have a costume like Batman from the comic books.
Yeah.
I agree. I loved what they did with his voice too in Batman v Superman.
Pavel Danko says, "Hi, what's your view on the Metro series and Hellblade?" Well, I don't know anything about Hellblade, but Metro I really like. I love the world. Gary, you probably wouldn't like it because it's like post-apocalyptic and everyone's horrible to each other. But it's
so
very
original.
cool. Yeah. But I like the setting, and the characters are really cool. Yeah, I've not read the Metro books, I've just played the games, but very much enjoyed them. Andrew McCarty says, Mauler, we need a Superman 78 EFAP movies now.
We got so many fat movies to record. I need to set up more on the comedies we're doing.
Yeah.
Again,
Do more of
I
those.
ain't stopping at Austin Powers. I want more.
More. SS Ringo says, I haven't cared about Harry Potter for nearly 20 years and almost certainly would have ignored the game if not for the boycott. Sitting here playing and enjoying it while waiting for the drinker. Well, there you go.
Nice.
I'm not joking when I say it might need to rename the Streisand effect or whatever the Hogwarts effect.
Yeah,
I
call
don't
it
know.
the
That
Hogwarts
is the
effect.
Hogwarts effect.
It's really happening. There's even theories coming out that this is all some psyop that like it was
Yeah.
just designed like this to generate controversy.
Dude, guarantee you, there's several people in a boardroom at some point in the past few days that were like, how do we do this again? Whatever
Yep.
that was. How do we do
Yep.
that again? Like, sir, we have no idea why this happened. We can't make this happen. It just happened.
Just wait to see them misunderstand it and get it all wrong and try to do it again and get their next project cancelled all outright.
Yeah, take it too far.
Well, yeah, Marvel tried to repeat the success from Black Panther with Captain Marvel, and all of it because that was marketing genius. They release it during Black History Month, and they basically say if you watch this movie, you're fighting racism and you're seeing the first Black people in movies ever. So yeah, and it worked. Freaking worked.
My
Well, they
favorite
tried
thing.
to.
Just like my favorite thing with that movie, the biggest sign of the success was when they established like charities. So they had people donate money to send inner city school kids to go see the
To
movie.
see their movie.
Yeah. So the studio didn't give away one free ticket. No. They accepted
Donations from a bunch of soccer moms in Marin.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well,
What genius is that?
and the
That
thing
that
is
is really good.
the activists on TikTok with Wakanda Forever, at least on TikTok, were just kind of had a ridiculous plan of if you're white, you can't watch the movie on opening day. You have to wait and only let Black people watch it first, then you can watch it. And it's like, wouldn't that hurt the movie? Don't you want to see the movie be really successful?
I think this is like
No.
when it comes to stuff like this, it's like herding up a whole bunch of really crazy people with wildly conflicting ideas about reality.
Yeah.
To try and like roughly follow your corporate direction, like to do what you want so that you can make more money. And yeah, sometimes it goes wrong and you get outliers like that, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird stuff. But yeah, like to pick up the point you made, more, you know, they often resort to this where it's like something was successful and so we're just going to try and replicate that effect by dialing everything up to 11, and that's why you got things like Love and Thunder.
Oh
You know,
god,
it's like
yeah, that was
Ragnarok was funny, so just make everything super funny in the sequel. And well, Taika Waititi
If I
was
can make a
happy to oblige.
comparison, Thor Ragnarok is Batman Forever. Thor Love and
Yeah.
Thunder is Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
That's a
An
good
interesting
comparison,
connection. I can see it. I can
Yeah.
see it. Because I was going to say, you know about the Black Panther and Captain Marvel's release. You know for a fact that if they could have released all of Phase 4, 5, and 6 between Infinity War and Endgame, they would have.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all of them just shoved in there. Be like, it's all relevant. Trust me, it's all relevant.
It's like Infinity War just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. It's like a movie delayed by like 6 years or
Well,
something.
Because you
They
guys
saw-
remember all the efforts they put into being like, there was a thing about like, should I see Captain Marvel to understand Endgame? It's like, well, you know, some people saw it and it's like, no, it doesn't matter. It's like right at the end, it's like, oh, she got cold.
Well-
They set up the little device, right, that she has. It's like, that's it.
Yeah.
No Way Home is completely inspired Secret Wars. So they're going to do Secret Wars at the end, and it will have every Marvel
Everyone.
character they can get their hands on. Absolutely. It'll just be a shit fest of cameos.
Will Jennifer Lawrence be in it?
Probably.
right.
Well, they got to
Wait.
get it out before I think 2025. The contract runs out with the OG X-Men, or not the OG, but the ones they had from First Class. That's why you saw Fantastic Four, and now X-Men are going to be pushed past 2025 because there were some contracts in place from Fox that created some issues.
If they got Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider and Superman to show up, eventually I'd just be like, just get Nicolas Cage.
They got
to play
Superman
everyone.
to show up. That'd be awesome.
Like
DC
no, it makes no
versus
sense,
Marvel?
but like it would be funny as fuck.
DC
and
versus Marvel would be their last gasp of all the superheroes.
oh
but-
shit, yeah, that's a card they could always try and pull eventually.
But having Nick
That should
Cage
be-
as Ghost Rider, that'd be fucking awesome. And Ben Affleck as Daredevil. You know, you just get all the Fox characters.
Well, that's what I
I
mean. If
think
they
they-
did
Yeah,
that, we would
bring
all,
back fucking Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Chris Evans can play Human Torch and Captain America.
and we would all smile at it, but then we'd all be like, "It's probably shit, though." Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
I will say though that Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, not in the first movie, but in the second one, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, which was a reboot. That was pretty awesome. It was.
I
bad,
loved it.
but
The
it was
directors
awesome.
called it, that's when they coined the phrase a requel.
Yeah.
They called it a
Right.
requel.
That's
I
all.
just-
I mean, that's really all that James Gunn's Suicide Squad was, wasn't it? It was a requel.
yeah,
Yeah,
a requel.
We're like,
oh,
kind of says.
I
like, yeah,
love
the
Spirit of
original is-
Vengeance. I love that movie.
I mean, I wish that
It's
because that was
crazy.
kind of like the second movie under the Marvel Knights umbrella, the first one being Punisher Warzone.
Yep.
I just wish that that would have carried on because the two movies we got there, they were so cool.
Dude, the
and they
bike
were
was
so
great in
accurate.
that.
The,
The big-
he looked amazing.
The
Ghost
big
Rider
Earth
has never
mover
looked
thing
better.
that he turned out.
That
fucking
was a
rad. I
cool
was like,
sequence
yes.
I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. I
Uh-huh.
kid you not. So that and Punisher Warzone are like the two movies that were released under the Marvel Knights vignette. It's a shame that we never got more than them.
NDG says, "Hey lol, do you think they'll race swap Abby so that when the inevitable hatred comes along, they can fall back on the good old racist card?"
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, they
Well, that was
totally
I
another-
think
could.
what they'll probably do is they'll probably, I mean, maybe not, but I think it's possible that they will hire a transgender actress so that they can have some sort of immunity with that. But we'll
I
see,
mean, it would
guess.
help with the whole bulking up thing, really.
Yeah,
Because there can't
yeah.
be many actresses that look like Abby.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, they could always Natalie Portman the body, it's like CGI or
They
Yeah.
could- I was thinking about Mike Myers in the fat bastard suit. He can do that, but with a muscle suit.
Well, isn't that like in Zoolander too? Like Will
Yeah.
Ferrell comes out of prison. Yeah, just do that. Ghost in the Craig says, "Afternoon, everyone. Here's to a great stream. Thank you, man." Dr. Eldon Tyro says, "J.K. Rowling is planning to run for office. Do it. Like, make her the First Minister of Scotland, I dare you." True Pop Culture says, "Mublishy, your thoughts on Invincible? Give it a watch."
I've not seen it. I'm gonna let this season 2 roll out, and then I'll ask Drinker if it's still good, and then I'll think about it. Okay.
I
Any
loved
recommendation?
season 1. I thought it was great.
Yeah, see, there you go. It's two people
I do
recommending it to
hear
you.
good things, but it wasn't as relentless a recommendation as it was for Arcane, which we just gave up on.
I
It's
liked
fine.
it better than Arcane.
That's okay.
Yeah. I did. I mean,
Allowed.
Arcane. I loved how Arcane started, but then I don't know. For some reason, I just lost interest after a while with it. I mean, I still think it was good, but Invincible, I loved.
More watch it for J.K. Simmons' gorgeous voice, if nothing else. I mean, voice is holy, man. What more can I say?
If after the second season you're like, you know what, Emily, gotta see it, I'll be like, okay, but then I get a token or something to make you watch something. I don't know what it
That's
is.
all
yet.
right.
I'll think about
I'll
it.
do it. Gavin Johnson says, "Long-time fan here. I've been stoked to hear you guys' opinions on the Hogwarts debacle all day. Personally, I'm having an absolute blast trolling these idiots on Twitch and making all the hipsters spill their lattes at work. Sheer fucking hubris." Perfect. Love it. Marcus Moyat says, "Drinker, have you played Disco Elysium?" No, I haven't, I'm afraid. I haven't played that.
I
Is it
hear
good?
it brilliant. I haven't played it, but lots of recommendations on that one.
Okay. Andrew Clark says, "Thoughts on Organized Chaos organizing a deplatforming campaign against everyone here?" I mean, good luck to him, I guess.
Have fun. Well, let's let the Hogwarts effect begin. Bring it.
I mean, I would caution that person and anyone else who wants to try something like this that kind of action can have serious repercussions if you abuse the system. So think carefully about doing that.
Yeah. And I can't wait to break out my quartering my channel is under attack face on a thumbnail.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Grayson Barnett says Jennifer Lawrence invented the invention. Before that, there were no inventions, and no one would ever invent an invention if it were not for her invention.
She's like, I've invented something. Like, what does that mean? She's like, I've invented the idea of inventing. Let me explain how to lay it out with this blueprint.
Pass on a hello to Tyrone, by the way, to the previous super chat.
Okay.
Raising those kids.
John Thomas says, so apparently some of the cast, Radcliffe's pick was in the thumbnail, are telling people not to play the game. Wouldn't that violate an anti-disparagement clause in their contracts? I just saw the vid thumbnail, so didn't see. I mean, I would imagine their contracts are up by now, like 10 years down the line. They've probably, any clauses in them have expired, so they can say what they want. I guess. Just assuming.
I don't know.
Push-ups says, is Lara unbreaded if she eats beans and toast?
Yes. That's Lara Croft. Classic Lara Croft's favorite food.
Beans on toast?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
She's adventurous.
She really is, yeah. Just keeping it simple, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, that's all you guys got to eat over there.
Don't
so.
knock it till you try it, Gary.
Come on now. What else you gonna eat over there?
Dude, I have eaten in your country, and it's very comparable to the prison food I had.
You have to pay for it over here, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least the prison food was free.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe haggis is an acquired taste.
It's just don't think about what's in it, but it's quite delicious.
You acquire it post-death.
Yeah.
Taste that.
You generally acquire it with more beer.
There you go.
Charles
Well, I'm
Hurst
not going to
says,
say anything. Norwegian cooking and all, so yeah.
yeah, don't you guys eat rotten fish? It's just
Well, only the people in the West, and I'm in Oslo. We don't do that. So,
Okay.
but yeah, they do totally. We even export it to gullible foreigners who will have paid shitloads for it.
Charles Hurst here says, I never cared about Harry Potter either, but watching Melanie and other folks play Hogwarts Legacy makes me want to buy it. Very nice.
Nice.
The music's really good.
Bamagrad
Really
says,
good.
Sorry.
That was pretty good, I thought.
I was going to say, Mahler, that was a really good impression of the
Thank
music. Well done.
It's like we're in the game.
Like we're in the game.
Hail to all. Drinker, I look forward to meeting you at Atlanta Comic Con. Nice. Which of your books will you bring to sell and sign? If I bring my Drinker plushie, will you sign it? Sure, yeah. I mean, I'll try. I don't know what the hell I would sign on it because it's a soft toy. But yeah, I'll have my latest book, Dark Harvest, and I'll bring some copies of Redemption as well. So that'll be
There you go. You could write out a chapter of Dark Harvest on the plushie.
There you go.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll write an entirely new book.
Write a whole book on the plushie. Why not?
It's like, the guy's going to be standing there for like 6 hours. Like, are you finished yet? No, leave me alone. Kyle Posey says, Drinker, have you checked out the menu yet? It hasn't got nearly the attention that it deserves. No, I haven't.
I
What is the
have.
menu?
Am I the only one here who has, out of curiosity?
You are.
My God.
Chris
We got an
Carson.
EFAP episode covering it if you want to see a bigger breakdown, but overall, I liked it. It's very much a subtext before text film. Everybody in it has to be kind of an idiot in order for it to work, but I like the points they're kind of making. If you're a fan of Gordon Ramsay, you'll know what they're making fun of in the broadest way. It's a chef that's very famous, taking everybody to this like unique island to have a great set of meals. But all the meals, and they know what they do when they make it. Like the first meal, or the example I always give is you see a meal that's like a rock with a bunch of seaweed or something, and they're like, this represents like blah, blah, blah. And then everyone there's like, wow, exquisite, amazing. And, you were sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? But the idea with the film, at least what me and Fringy drew from it, was that of all the people who were invited there, they are all of the different ways a a sort of person that consumes art can destroy it, be it through money, misunderstanding, making it be something they want instead of letting it be what it wants. And the movie just has like a general approach to all that. Ray Fiennes is the Gordon Ramsay type character, you could argue, and he's fucking brilliant in it. I think I recommend it, but it's a bit heady in terms of you have to figure out what it's trying to say, otherwise you might get confused as to what the fuck's happening.
I like this. Fine dining and breathing. There you go. I mean, I imagine, yeah, it does feature breathing in it. Graf von Tyrrell says, things have sure gone full circle. I was in junior high when Christian fundamentalists banned Harry Potter made the news. Funny how things turn out now.
Yeah, it's like a complete 180 because I was one of the in the Christian community. I was like, oh, I feel like a cool kid because like my parents let me watch Harry Potter and we're Christians because at the time it was like boycotted like crazy by Christians. And so now here we are this many years later. And it's a lot of us Christians now because I'm a Christian. We're like, yeah, get Hogwarts Legacy. Let's go.
Derek says, how do you react when someone tells you that they like The Last Jedi? Personally, my left eye starts twitching and I get flashbacks to Vietnam, even though I was never there. I think at this point, I'm just like, yeah, that's good. I'm glad you liked it. At this point, I just don't care anymore.
As long as they're not doing it just to piss people off, and you can do that both ways, of course. Like when people are like, well, I think, remember when it was first happening, everyone was like, if you like or dislike it, it tells you everything about a person's personality. It's kind of like the Hogwarts shit. But if someone just genuinely enjoys it and mentions that casually, I assume it's because they, saw it as like an interesting take on legends and how they, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, having casually watched Star Wars once 20 years ago or something like that.
Oh, Gary, when they're like, he threw his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, so why are you complaining that he does it in the... he threatened to attack a family member in Return of the Jedi.
No, that's like missing the nuance of everything.
Oh, dude,
that's like
that to me, because they always talk about how we have
stories might be too much for you.
They'll say we have like no media literacy, and I'll just be like, you understand that the same action done for different reasons isn't the same thing. Like, you have to know that. When Darth fucking Vader, the villain of the galaxy, says, I'm going to come for your sister and I'm going to turn her to the dark side, and Luke says no and fucking attacks him, that's different than your sister's son sleeping and having a bad dream and you think about killing him. That's a very
different thing.
Hey.
Hikira says, I'm a fan of the Harry Potter books, not so much the movies. It's been years since I really cared about Harry Potter, so I was going to skip it. However, I feel like I have to play now just to piss off the right people. Fair play. And Saiyan Rocks says, Gary, have you watched Stargate yet?
I have not watched Stargate, but I'm very close. Very close to watching Stargate. I got to get through Star Trek. I know it's such a tough job. I have to watch Star Trek.
You're gonna have to make room, dude, because you got Mandalorians on the way too now.
Oh, I'll watch Stargate instead of Mandalorian. How's that?
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
What?
I will watch Stargate instead.
He's gonna go to Mandalore, the ruins of Mandalore or something.
He's gonna go with Baby Yoda, and they're gonna try to get Mandalore back, and now they're gonna use that as a backdoor way to have another Star Wars movie with Rey and little baby Grogu.
Maybe even Boba Fett will be back, and
God,
Bo-Katan,
so.
and
Ahsoka.
Even
Ahsoka will somehow survive it all.
So Ahsoka, I think she's going to be the key to everything.
I think Dave Filoni goes to his home every night and has an Ahsoka doll and does really horrible things to it.
You mean like
a life-size, fully functional Ahsoka doll? Like. That's what I think happens.
My lack of enthusiasm for all of these projects knows no bounds. I don't think I've got words to describe how much I don't want to watch any of this stuff. It's just no.
Kidding me with the cliffhanger in Boba Fett season episode whatever with Mando.
Season episode whatever.
Yeah.
I love how they stopped a season of a television show to put in another season of a television show, and then stopped that and restarted the season of a television show.
it was uncanny because it hit all the beats, right? Like it's like Mando's carried on being a bounty hunter, but something's missing. And then he gets his new ship, and he's got a new. He gets banned from being a Mandalorian because he took his helmet off, which he would have died if he hadn't. Whatever. And then he's like, "Oh, Luke is being abusive to Baby Yoda." So,
Yeah, he's being like a dick. It's like
so it's like, oh, I guess we'll team back up. Got a new ship. Off we go. Mando
Disney,
season 3,
Star Wars,
baby.
Luke Skywalker's a dick. He's an absolute dick, through and through.
Yep. Doctor Who says, hot damn, finally caught an open bar live with an awesome panel to boot. Well, we aim to please. Thanks, man. Kevin O'Neill says, the recent events of Hasbro, Netflix, and now Harry Potter, are we finally seeing the rise of a generation that knows how to vote with their wallets?
I hope so.
Maybe.
It's looking like it.
And Slim Jim says, my old boss, who was very selfish and downright a terrible manager, was hired at Disney Entertainment last year. Wouldn't it be a shame if karma got him with these upcoming layoffs? Cheers, guys. It would be terrible. We sure hope that doesn't happen. The Gourd King says, they ruined Star Wars for us by butchering it. They ruined Harry Potter for them by keeping it exactly the same. Apparently, yeah. Cosmic Hood says, sorry to say that I'm waiting to watch y'all, what's this, Hogwarts Legacy videos till after I finish myself. I don't hate me for this. I just want to play it.
Oh, totally
blame you.
understandable.
No.
Be careful
Yeah,
on Twitter
good fun.
replies, all that, because all the haters are trying to spoil everything. So be safe out there.
What a weird
safe.
timeline. I'll never stop
I
saying that.
know. It really is.
You are safe. No, you're safe.
You are fucking
You,
safe.
you are safe. You're at home. You're playing a video game. You are
Be safe on the internet. Be safe from
Be safe
spoilers.
on the internet. Now, like walking around downtown LA or New York, you're on your own. But
True.
Be careful. Be very, very don't go to the subway for anything.
Yeah.
I just love the idea that people are like fucking dripping with sweat as they hit install on Steam.
I know.
Here I go.
Can I answer a question? A super chat.
Sure.
Or drinker. It's from Big Coffin Hunter for $4.99. It says, have either you or Gary been confronted by someone with opposing views at a con? I'm concerned that drinker's going to Atlanta and he might get mugged. I never, ever have been confronted by anybody. And I rolled around a Star Trek convention with a I Stand With Vic shirt on all
Wow.
day. And people were just shaking my hand and nice. I didn't get as much as a dirty look. Has that happened to you at all? Yeah.
No, it's been fine
Yeah.
so far. I mean, the people you meet at cons are just generally super nice.
Super nice,
know?
good people.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to be a little bit unhinged to walk up to someone specifically because you're like,
Exactly.
hey, Gary, I disagree with you about Picard.
Well, and the thing is,
And I would say, okay.
these keyboard warriors, the keyboard warriors haters telling us not to play Hogwarts Legacy, all this kind of stuff, they're the type of people that are too scared to answer their telephone when it's ringing. They definitely aren't going to approach anyone at a con. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, I've never worried about it ever. We have meetups. We go to the cons. You were at the meetup in Dallas, Melanie. Sorry I didn't get
Yes.
to talk to you at all. That sucked.
Oh,
I'm
it's
all,
okay.
"Hi."
It was hectic. It was awesome. It was
It
really
was
packed.
cool. And everybody was cool. And we did a couple of panels, and Drinker probably experiences the same thing. Not everybody in there is going to agree with everything we say at all. And dude, at that LA Comic Con, when Chris Gore did the 99% of movies are garbage panel in the belly of the beast, and we had like really good conversation with people who disagreed with us there. That it was very cordial and nice. Most fans, 99% of fans are cool, and they are cool with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the way it is. It's not like Twitter is not the real world.
Exactly. They're not out there like, they're not among the actual cool nerds.
I'll do one more here. Felix Brockman, who says, greetings from Germany. Keep it up. The more the 21st century advances, the more I feel like being from the 19th century. It's 2023, and all it takes to be a rebel these days is playing a Harry Potter game. It's very true.
Yep.
And being a Christian,
Yeah.
like being a Christian playing a
Yep.
Harry Potter game, you are so
Yep.
punk rock right now.
Yeah.
weird.
What can I say?
I love it. It's
quite a
Hello.
timeline to live in.
Like not having tattoos, wanting a traditional family, going to church and playing Harry Potter makes you the rebel of all rebels.
have
You are the
tattoos,
most
though. I
dangerous thing in
feel one
America
of
right
them.
now.
But well, I think we've been going for close to 3 hours. Yeah, it's almost like midnight here. So we'll probably finish it up there. But I want to say thank you to all my awesome guests for this. Gary, Melanie, Andre, you guys have been great tonight. Thank you for coming in for this.
Thank you. Thanks for
Yeah,
inviting
thanks
me.
for having us.
Is there anything you guys want to plug while you're here?
Yeah,
Ladies first.
I'll take the opportunity.
Andre.
In 5 minutes, actually, we have a video dropping where on Midnight's Edge, where I break down everything that Bob Iger revealed between the lines in the Disney presentation, the $3 billion cost cut, what cost it, and everything like that. So yeah, check that out on Midnight's Edge in 5 minutes. And tomorrow in our live stream, which is at 9 a.m. LA time, that's 5 p.m. UK time and 6 p.m. European time, we have a special guest. We have the Critical Drinker joining us.
Hey,
So,
who could have thought it? Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow, so looking forward to that, man. It's been a while since I've been on Midnight's Edge.
Hail Midnight's Edge.
Indeed. Well, yeah, the links to everyone's channels are in the description as well, so be sure to give them a follow if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you for the mods for their usual awesome work. Really appreciate you guys. And thank you for everyone who's super chatted and joined us in chat here tonight. It's been great. And well, I guess that's all we have for today. So go away now.
Bye.